What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the plot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Get your Thanksgiving on. Hope you guys smoked a lot, went for your little walk before your meal with your family, a little take a walk. Although hell, somebody made this comment in the Discord. It's like, it's 2021 now. You just go out back and smoke because it's legal. But yes, we hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. It was delightful. I just wanted to take a second and say that this project resonated with me a lot. On Thanksgiving, as far as just like trying to think about the things that I'm thankful for. This group of people, these 5 players, some of my favorite human beings in the world, this opportunity to build and tell a story with them every single week while also getting to see their lovely faces every week is something that jumps to the front of my list as far as thinking about it. This community, all the amazing people that just take any time at all to engage with this little thing that we've got going on, the people on Discord and our Facebook groups and stuff. It's like, I've said it a lot. I think genuinely the best thing that's come out of this show is that it is a force for good. You know, we want to use this game and these stories to entertain, obviously, but at the same time, we want to facilitate letting people know it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to enjoy the things that you enjoy. And it's okay to be yourself around others. And that more often than we may realize, there are people that are there for you, you know, even if they're not people that you see every single day or anything. And the fact that has proven so true in this, I know it's certainly that way for me, and from talking with you guys and some of the buds, it's like, it's had that effect. And as far as a creator goes, I don't think there's any greater gift in the world than that kind of expression of goodness, especially in a place like the internet where there's a lot of really negative things that happen on a day-to-day matter. We really have avoided, like, we've been doing this now for over 18 months. We've almost had 0. I mean, we've maybe had 2 issues in the entire time, you know? And so it's just a treat. So I wanted to thank you. I know it's you know, not the holiday itself, but it is something that means a lot to me, that one, you take the time to be here. Those of you that help us share it across the socials or just engage with us or hang out on Discord, you know, anytime we've had community stuff and you guys interact, people that have sent in names for bongs like Naro Sumelai from our man Ron Danjaro, and then, you know, the Green Hornet from our man Darkopolis. It's seriously, it's such a cool thing. And so I wanted to take a second to acknowledge my gratitude to all of you and say that was something I'm very thankful for. So, the other thing that's kind of big, we are getting ready to our next sesh, the one after this, will be the finale sesh of Weed&D's Prologue to Ganjaria. So this is number 71. It's looking like we're going to end it right on 72. And we're going to take a little bit of our time cap off the back end of that. The sesh is going to go as long as it needs to go. And so we might run a little later next week. You know, we'll still have the VOD. We drop our videos every week at 4:20 on Friday on YouTube. There'll all be all those ways, but I guarantee you it's going to be big, it's going to be epic, and it's going to be fucking incredible to wrap these fucking epic stories up that we've been able to tell for so long with all these wonderful people. So, I'm very excited. I can't wait to get into today's sesh, but in order to do so, I got to pass this magical joint here through the fibers of the interwebs to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna Folger. Hey, Brenna. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing great. Bam. Brenna here, Prince Brunor, the serpent slayer. And because of just the most recent holiday, am very most thankful for the Southern Paiute. I think they're the new Woo tribe. That's where most of where we record is. It's their land. So fucking decolonize, giving back their land, fuck it. Thanksgiving for me is about cooking food and being around people I love. So that you know, fuck decolonize shit. Give them their land back. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Just take it.
So I'm thankful for that and for them. And I'm also thankful for my gigantic Brunor jar that Amanda Kraft made me. And I'm gonna pass the jar down to Abby. Abby, this jar.
Ooh, I got it. Oh yeah. Ooh, stay hydrated today. Oh my gosh. Abby Dandy, but better known around these parts as Tynna Smoothhands, the smoothest hands in the friggin' West. Level 11 halfling cleric. You know what? again, I'm ready to just friggin' get right into it. So you look pretty thirsty up there, Drewby. Here, have some.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, baby.
Oh, it multiplied.
It's been fractionated.
What? Y'all, Drew. Thoricus the dwarf. Just thankful that my internet's hanging on as long as it has been. So, fingers crossed. Fucking, I love you guys so much. A lot of mixed feelings going into the next sesh. So, just be here and keep enjoying the ride with us, buds. We couldn't do it without you. So, speaking of best buds, here, I got a twofer.
Oh, there we. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Whoa! See that?
what
Nicely
the?
done, man. Appreciate it. What's up, buds? Jake Taylor here as Riel Othravan, level 11 Arcane Trickster Rogue Revenant. And yeah, I kind of had the same reflections. I'm really fucking thankful for all you guys. And all you guys. It's such a blessing. Something we... No. We'll save the tears for the finale next sesh.
Oh, I'm crying. I'm crying.
We're all gonna weep. Oh, and it's gonna be beautiful, just like this sesh is gonna be. But you know, can't do a sesh without our man Gus. Looking thirsty, bud.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, thank you very much, Jake and Bake. That's right. I am your boy, Gus Two Blunts Langley. And I just looked inside of my super limited edition WeeD&D mason jar from Crash and Burn Candles because I like to support small businesses. And it has 2 blunts in it? What? Oh,
That's like your name.
Oh, who would have thought? Well, since we're here, I will be playing Divot, the Lightning Dodger, the Bard Warlock / Revenant, close personal friend of death. And man, I can't even begin to get caught up in my feelings about us being this close to the end of the campaign. I'm super excited about today's sesh. And hey, I just wanted to say, I think it's so cool that I've seen all these people trying to support small businesses and stuff. You know, you support all these huge companies, support your friends, support artists. It really means a lot to them. I can speak from personal experience. So when this sesh comes out, I'm going to put a link to like my little brother's t-shirt company. I'm going to put a link to my sister's candle company. Because you know what? It really means a lot to people when you help them out with stuff like that. Speaking of people that I really like and that help people out, this guy has meant the world to me. And I am seriously excited to play this session. I'm going to pass things back over to you, Bam.
Yeah! Oh, it made it back. Fuck, I will start to cry. You might notice, Gus, because he was just in fucking Hawkeye. Woo! Marvel's Hawkeye. Woo! This fucking guy. Oh, man. Dude, so fucking proud of you, bro. Holy shit. Oh, my sexy little piece of Viking man meat in the back. I'm so excited. Guys, honestly, just to summarize, we're all going to cry a lot probably at some point. Gus almost got me right there. But yeah, it honestly, just to wrap it all up in a nice little bow, I am so very thankful for every human being involved in this project, all the amazing artists that have contributed art and music and layouts and their time and energy, and these human beings who are all so fucking talented to be able to make the time to do something like this with all the schedules of everything that they're doing, how hard they fucking work throughout the day. It is such a treat to have something like this that it's a gift that we get to close this out the way we want to. Most D&D games don't get to the last session. It's one of the saddest realities about this game. And so it's just so hard for a group of friends to find time to be together every week. That's just the reality we live in. And so for me, it's so important that you guys and those of you that are watching and just like everybody about this community, all the stuff, it's fucking, yeah, I am so very thankful for it. And I love you guys. And this has been one of the biggest projects of my entire life. And I'm just blessed to be a part of it. So thank you guys. I am gonna, I almost got me again, motherfucker. All right. I am gonna start this thing off. We do have us a little ritual that we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter like this sweet yellow, sharp yellow guy here. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Lighters up. Let's play some fucking D&D, guys.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
Ooh. Oh my buds. All right, guys. Well, let's fucking get into this thing. But in order to do so, you'll have to allow me to set the mood. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they had succeeded in driving away the malicious spirit known as the Nightmare Shepherd from the tortured mind of Greyland Faragor, the Fellsworn King. Despite the magics that twisted the minds of Brunor and Thoricus, Tynna, Divid, and Rial were able to fend off the attacks of their own warriors until they could free their minds as well. Once free of demonic influence, the spirit of Greyland was renewed, and his clouded mind was now able to share a tremendous secret with the Five. That it was not just Rial, whose creation is linked with the fractionation ritual, but rather each member of the Five. Through shared visions, they witnessed Shren making a deal with Synthesis and Anti-Agatha, as his own child was split into two parts, resulting in both Divid and Tynna. In the royal chambers of Elmira, the child of the Serpent royal family too was offered to the ritual, dividing it into the life forces of both Brunor and Ulara. When Greyland at last turned to Thoricus Onyxheart, he stated that the fractionation ritual cast on him was incomplete and offered little more in the way of clarity. It would appear that Synthesis is already 2 steps ahead of us, said the Fellsworn King, as the ritual was completed, which allowed them all to escape the mind of the Lord of Light and Shadow. All right, guys, we jump back in. You know, just as you guys are completing this ritual, the shared visions of the origin fractionations of many of the members of your group are kind of existing in this dreamscape around you. You know, like each one of you was able to see these revelations in the dream weave of the mind of Greyland Faragor, as that connection between the 5 of you starts holding true, and the ritual that brought you into his mind in the first place suddenly is reversed. You know, you guys start spinning around as your own minds, you know, tumble at the thought of this new knowledge, and you see that both the dark and the light forests of this dreamscape in Greyland's mind start spinning around you. You know, first slowly, as you see the white and the dark just shifting around on either side, and then it just becomes a blur of gray as the lavender leaves and the soft mists of the mind of Greyland Faragor begin to fade away. As you feel yourselves moved between the dream world, that of the mind of Greyland Faragor, and returned into your own bodies. You know, for a brief moment, many of you have had these out-of-body experiences throughout the course of this story. You have a brief second where you see Greyland's spirit, you know, summoned in the center between all 5 of you, and your own bodies, you know, kind of materializing as spirits in this realm for a moment. You look down on the unconscious bodies of each of your own forms. You know, a form that is a little alien to you now that you've learned these new truths, you know, the reality of all of your origin being so dogmatically shifted that the sight of your own body in this moment is a bit, it jets the mind of each of you as you kind of look down on this body with its many unknown secrets. You see the spirit of Greyland, the great warrior, you know, like I described. After the casting out the Nightmare Shepherd, his body returned to that of the noble warrior. But when you look down, you still see the frail, sick body of a man who's been trapped in his dreams for weeks, as that spiritual light just bathes down and washes over the body of Greyland. You know, as you see its spirit gets dissolved into his body as he lays there on the bed, it finally settles at peace for a moment. You see his silver hair kind of lays back on the pillow, and then each of you feel as your body is pulled back into your own forms. You know, Brunor, you're the first to be roused because you feel the big snout of Brian, just like clearly worried about you, seeing this kind of shift in the energies in the room, quickly rushes over to you and starts kind of nuzzling your cheek. I'm gonna bring us back over into the other map here real quick, so just give me a moment. But yes, as you guys are returned to your forms, you feel the presence of Brian, excitedly flapping some of his wings a little bit. It's a small tent, so it's like he's kind of a bull in a china shop right now because he's just so excited to see Bruno return. You hear the sigh of Sumner Milton himself at the sight of the king's returning. And Rial, rather than rushing directly to the king's side, you see Sumner rushes to your side first. As you guys, it's kind of like hazy and foggy coming out of this like in-between place between reality and dream. And you open your eyes and you see the soft face of Sumner Milton. And the words that come to you as he reaches down and kind of puts his hands on your shoulders. I told you it would not be the last time. And he kind of sets you up and hands you a glass of water and kind of starts handing them out to everybody else. But he's connected with you, Rial.
You weren't wrong. You rarely are, but you weren't wrong.
You see as, he looks on your face, you've been sweating, your brow is furrowed, it's like your bodies are tired even though they weren't physically there. And he takes the little cloth that he always wears, draped over his shoulder, the shame cloth, and uses the bit of the tail of it to just, clean your face off a little bit. Again, like a tending father, rather than, just the major domo of this kingdom. You see, as you guys all come back to your sorts, he kind of hands water to everybody. And then after having that moment with you, Rial, he starts to go back to the bed of Greyland. He looks down upon him. You see the Fellsworn King, the Griever King, the Lord of Light and Shadow, as he rolls over, that transference in his spirit didn't quite equate to the real world. You see he's still pretty frail, hasn't eaten in weeks. His skin is tightly bound. You can see his veins very vascular. His skin is already pale normally, and so it's like the life just coming back to his cheeks doesn't do a whole lot for him as he kind of lays tired on the bed beside you. But you see he turns his head, holds his hand up to Sumner Milton. My old friend, thank you. He's like, of course, my lord. It is good to see you again. Rest. And he kind of like lays his head back down on the pillow for a moment. You see, Sumner turns to you all and he's like, we should allow the king to rest. Surely he will know what to do, but I do not wish to tax his spirit right now. What did you see within his mind? The book, and you see he references over to that magic book that was kind of connected to his mind. You see the book is now sealed shut again. And that magical energy that kind of peeled off of it and trickled into the mind of Greyland, that physical string of magic, is gone. The book now lies dormant, the arcane energy no longer crackling, at it. So you see Sumner is quite confused as to what took place.
Well, it looks like we saw some sort of nightmare dude who was giving him nightmares and getting him unfocused. He looked like he was kind of all over the place when we went in there. Just real quick, where's your shame scarf?
He's like, he's got it. He's like, it's,
yeah. I'm just making sure you got it. Anyway, so we just never forget, right? We were in there, and there was like the nightmare demon guy, and we were able to focus him back up and get him out of there. But like, right, King? And I want Bruno to kind of like jostle him a little bit lightly, but just do a jostle, like, right, King? We got you out, right?
You see, he kind of like opens his eyes a little bit. He's like, yes. Sumner, the devils took my mind again. And you see Sumner Milton like takes a little cool rag and kind of puts it to his brow. He's like, rest, sir, rest. Yes, of course, there's time for this. There's time for all of it. You see, he's like, yes. Damn devils. Kind of, just tired and frail, lays back there on the ground. You see Sumner's taking in what you say, and he kind of looks over at the book, and he's like, I warned the king not to touch this book. You can smell the devil energy on it. And he kind of walks over to it like cautiously, and he grabs his little walking cane and kind of pokes at it with his stick. The book, doesn't spring to life or anything or start casting magic. It seems to just be a dead dormant book now. And so he kind of looks to you. He's like, I know not how to dispose of such a powerful relic.
I do.
Of course you do. What would you do, Rial?
I'm just gonna mage hand that little book and put it right in the old Krampus sack. Can't hurt anybody in there.
Just floating around, yeah. You take the book, as the magical hand that comes out from your mage hand connects with the leather bindings of the book. You don't feel, a jolt of negative energy. Again, it seems like perhaps, Rial, you were the most aware of the magics with your Arcana checks of what was going on. It would seem this Nightmare Shepherd was somewhat linked to the magics within this book, and that by perusing it, perhaps that is what exposed Greyland's mind to it in the first place. It is a little interesting that he mentioned that the devils took his mind again. That's strange. But yeah, so it seems like now that the Nightmare Shepherd has been driven out, the connection that's this devil magic had to this book is gone. But wisely, rather not leave a book around that might get recharged or something. You feel your invisible mage hand just picks it up and sets it in Krampus's sack. Again, Sumner Milton, looks on you like a very proud father. Yeah, like not only can you dispose of this book, you have this magical bag, and you just freed the mind of the king. You see a little bit of pride swelling in his eyes as you quickly step up to dispose of this demonic tome.
Sumner, come here just a moment. And I take him out kind of to the side just so that the king doesn't hear me. What's going on with your land king that he's got a problem with demons again?
You see, he kind of looks at you and he's like, many do not know the true origins of the Fellsworn King. Graylin Ferragor was not born to royal lineage. The Fellsworn Kingdom did not exist until created by a wish from his own lips. The original boy, Graylin Ferragor, was taken over, possessed by a devil. A devil he fought with most of his life and was able to free himself from. It is what drives him to this day, to end the influence of these outer planar figures on the plane of men. He wished to sever those ties, and he expelled the devil from within himself by going into hell and killing him. That was many years ago, before he felled the god King Bane. He was touched by divine grace. Idethea, the old god, filled him with virtue. And so he became the Lord of Light and Shadow, having felt both the touch of the devil and the grace of the angels. I am sure it was quite a blow to him to see his mind once more overtaken by a devil. Perhaps I should have stopped him from reading these damn books in the first place. And you see he kind of looks down at the shawl scrawl, there's his shawl of shame around his neck, and you could feel him pumping new shame into it, I deserve this. Just kind of batting himself down for not being able to have stopped what he kind of felt like he saw coming.
Well, I mean, believe me, I know books can be dangerous, right? We
you don't
know.
Have to tell us.
Yeah, listen, we know.
Spent fucking 3 hours trying to read a book.
And Brian
or
is
a
reading
page of a
it.
book.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fully
Come and help
intend
us
on
out.
reading this book.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
did want to say, don't we have someone in the Krampus sack with the Shadow Dragon Dong, and now we just put a book of demons inside it?
So there is. You did take the crystal essence of Helix and ushered it along with you. But yes, they are all kind of in the same negative dimensional space right now. That is a valid observation.
All right, I'm not a bag, soup doctor, magic item. What do you call that thing? Like a witch. I'm not a witch.
I'm not a. You're not?
I'm not.
Oh.
what?
I just thought maybe those ingredients might make some badass gumbo. So throwing it
Thoricus,
out
is
there.
that what they call, is soup doctor what they call witches where you're from?
There aren't a lot of women that practice any kind of magic where I'm from, so no.
It's true, they're mostly shield maiden warriors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
What
Mostly-
about
mostly
soup?
like a
Is there
myth.
soup where you're from?
Yeah.
There's tons of soup.
Yeah.
We're,
Okay.
More
stews, more
The
stews
notes
and
of their
chowders.
exotic stews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
we're a hearty.
So, Sumner, is Graylin falling asleep and having demon nightmares? Is that why your men are so poorly taken care of right now? What's going on here? Brent
You
is
see, again, Sumner, feeling bad, he kind of acknowledges, he's like, it is my own failings that have let morale get so low around these camps. My job as Major Domo is to see to these men's needs, but I must confess, when I saw Graylin failing, I put all my efforts into finding a way to rouse his wearied mind. What these men need is purpose. But, and he kind of looks around, he's like, while I have you. You see, he reaches into this little pouch at his side, and he pulls out a scroll from it. He's like, I think you should see this. And he hands it to you. You know, it's got a little, it's like the wax seal that's on it has already been broken. So it's like this letter has already been read. And he says, some of the mercenaries that we deal with to get weapons from the region, one of them had this after he attacked our men and we were forced to arrest them. I believe it may pertain to some people that you know. You know, look at the scroll, Bruno. Do you want to take a look at it now?
Yeah, I want to look at it in front of all my friends.
All right, so you pop the scroll out, and you see it's like to all those of the Black Network, I'm having an auction. Come buy the magical luck blade, the most powerful magic relic in the land. I, Shren Oldbuck, shall be your host. Cat purses, thieves, assassins, murderers abound. Come and bid to win the weapon. And you see there's like this little like sketch of the luck blade itself, and at the bottom it's like, it grants a wish, idiot, with a little arrow that points to it. And it said, and the location of the auction is said to be in Nam Buldir, at the Thieves Guild in Nam Buldir.
Marketing strategy.
I'm imagining the best little crayon drawing.
He couldn't figure it out. He couldn't figure it out. I'm joshing. Joshing.
Yeah, Bruno, you're like, oh, I guess you didn't get a chance to get the guess you couldn't get the old curse off that blade. And you start joshing out front. Now you solo have a good josh, but when trying to again bring the josh into the tent, where there's the sick king and the many mind shocked friends of yours,
Oh my god, he couldn't figure it out. That's what he does, is figure curses out. He couldn't figure it out. Yeah. That kind of Josh, I'm like, all right.
You look so foolish.
Then the king is just laying there, just.
Little blood.
Yeah.
I'm so weak. Somebody get me a sandwich.
Wouldn't you know?
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
You see Greyland casts hold person on Brunor. There we go. Brennan, you went, wouldn't you know? And then it was like, that's it. You had us hanging on every word. Good job.
Yeah. I don't even want to tell you what I said.
It's forever our secret.
Wouldn't
All right, so yeah, you guys stand, you see Greyland is going to be resting. Sumner's like, perhaps I should, if he grabs one of the nearby people to like run and get some food and some water for him. But you see Sumner, like, he looks to you all and he's like, the word in the world is that everybody goes toward where the floating mountain peaks head. The sages have determined they think it's the Sky Shrine Peaks. Now, you know of the Sky Shrine Peaks. It's the tallest mountain range in the world, said to reach up potentially to the realm of the gods itself. It's this huge giant to the north of Nam Buldir. You kind of continue on toward the center point of the continent. There's these massive mountains there, that dwarf even the size of the lore of the mountain. But this, Achaeus flying in that on the giant citadel of stone where he ripped off the top of the mountain and flew away. Sumner's knowledge is telling you guys that he's headed toward the Sky Shrine Peaks, and that so too have the great armies, that were originally going to meet at Nam Buldir. Now there's the reason they were going there was to deal with what was going on with Achaeus and the sun still frozen in the sky, but now Achaeus is now moving toward these Sky Shrine Peaks, and so the Steelborn army of the dynasty, the armies, the mercenary armies to the east as well, are all headed in that direction. He kind of looks and pats Greyland on the head and mentions that is probably where the armies of the Fellsworn should go, if Greyland, can return to a good state of mind.
I'd like to jump in real quick with Greyland before we part ways.
Yeah.
And I want to do two things. One, I want to ask him All right. We know about the wish to keep us from knowing what's going on with us. What was the other wish? Do you know?
I think wasn't that the wish to become a king?
You see, he kind of, it's like Sumner looks and he's like, it was not of the same blade that wish came from. Grayland used a wish of his own. So the wish blade itself, the two stones, those, and that's Sumner, he says, here, look, and he takes some of the gathered writings of Grayland. And he's like, Grayland felt like he was getting close to something. And he starts kind of looking through some of the notes. He's like, I peered through his words to see if perhaps there was a way I could find the magics that kept his mind complete. And he's looking around and he kind of turns two things around to you guys. So this one journal, he kind of turns and he points, and it's like you see him, it's almost like he's drawn out what he told you, like the idea of like, okay, there were these 5 souls, some of them split. The wish was used from Sithesis's blade was used to create or to blind the minds of these heroes, the 5 of destiny. And then you see he kind of has thought underneath. You see an arrow drawn down, a couple question marks. He's like, perhaps the massive amount of magical power needed to create so many fractionation rituals could only have been supplied by such magics. So he's implying he believes that the second wish was used to create the amount of power you would need to actually fractionate this many individuals. But again, it's just his guess based on what he knows.
All right. And then real quick, the second thing I wanted to do is just, I saw how burdened the guy was with decisions, and I'm just gonna slip my man a guidance so that he doesn't have to think as hard the next time.
Nice. You kind of set upon the weary mind of him, It lasts for 10 minutes, but this is a time, that his own mind is kind of like meandering over, regaining the strength, his own constitution, reinstilling himself. And with that, with a little bit of, your skeletal hand, that connection that you have to death and the clarity that comes with an observation of the spectrum of what time is and how that exists. And now your own relationship to that spectrum, you ease the mind of him. Now you see the other, I'm sorry, it's for a minute. So yeah, you see the other scroll that he kind of puts forward and he's like, and here is what I think may have led him astray. He slides over another book to you. You see it's just a journal entry of Grayland Faragor's, and he states that the only way that he can offset the power, to sever the ties between the other realms, is to destroy the barriers between them altogether. To sever the networks that allow people from Hell, the Feywild, the Shadowfell, to connect to the prime material plane is the only way to give the realm of men the strength to stand on their own. Most of the evil in the world, Grayland feels, comes from these outside influences, giving people power in exchange for dark dealings. Grayland wanted to settle the score. And so he, with a knowledge of this Shekinda ritual and the prophecy that he studied, continued to allow these things to take place. And you see the last thing in his journal, the last time he wrote in his journal, he states that he is the one who gave the Queen Mab of the fairies the location of the tier of the primordials. So that whole Kraken coming in down there, the way Mab was able to, ostensibly you guys were taken there by her inside the Kraken in the first place. It was Grayland that helped her find out where the primordials tier was, a tier that you guys allowed her to get. This object of immense magic power connected to the birth of the world itself, the tear cried by the primordials when they saw what men had done with their world. This kind of answers some of the how of what took place that got you guys there. Grayland thought that in order to bring this shattering of the layers between the realms, he would team up with Queen Mab against Achaeus and Titania.
Well, we gave her the tier, so mission accomplished. At least for him.
Yeah.
So, why? I guess since we're asking questions, how did my fractionation ritual get fucked up? Everyone else's worked. What's wrong with me?
Sumner doesn't know. The king is kind of weary. I don't want to make it seem like you guys can't talk to him. You can. Like, if you want to, Thoricus, you want to be like, hey, like shake him awake a little bit. It's, you know, you're not going to kill him or anything. He's just extremely exhausted. But yeah, if you want to ask Grayland and see if you can.
Yeah, leadership's hard, bro. I said that how many sessions ago.
How much time do you have, Thoricus?
Can we shoot a potion or something? Would that help his ass out?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to use one of your, you know, like an item.
That's fucking me.
Yeah, I'll slip him a Mickey. I got a little potion on me.
All right, so, you know, again, much of the damage is in his rack and weary mind, and like health exists in our world, it's not just physical damage, but the mental as well. You see between the guidance you gave him in this potion, you know, he's able to rouse about. He'll answer any questions that you guys wish. And Thoricus, you know, you're kind of like, what's the deal with this, you know, uncompleted fractionation ritual? And he looks at you and he's like, the division was not completed in a clean fashion. Yours was the last fractionation ritual they attempted, and the magic power they drew upon was very weak. While something was torn from you, it was twisted. I wish I knew more. But of all the magics, you see he kind of raises his hand and feels that like aura that comes off of each of you. He kind of stops before you and he says, yours is incomplete.
Oh, I'm a dwarf, so I mean, I'm really magic. That checks out.
But yeah, so you know, it's like he looks at you and it's like whatever the magics at that, like he said, drawing 5 fractionation rituals is apparently extremely requires a ton of magic power. And so the only way they were able to do that was to use the wish. And so whether it was a lack of power or something else, the fractionation ritual that created you and someone else wasn't as clean. It wasn't as perfect or completed to the same degree.
I appreciate that, Your Highness. Just get some sleep. We're the 5. You might not have heard about us just yet, but we kind of handle shit.
No, he's like, I'm well aware of your legend. Your songs inspire my men.
They were the other ones.
Yeah, the other ones.
Yeah. Who were the other ones?
No, not the 5.
Oh,
we're the ferocious type.
Oh, I was thinking of the fastidious
With the
5. They're
sauce.
very good at cleaning.
Oh.
All their notes are immaculate.
When we all say goodbye to him and we leave, can I just take him? Can I then go back to Sumner Milton and be like, oh yeah, by the way, did you like lie to us about being the 5? Because like we're not the 5.
You see, he's like, he again looks down with a little bit of shame, and he's like, I thought you were. He's like, you're 5 heroes. You were fighting with synthesis. Like, I thought you were.
All right, that's fine. It's
I
okay.
can see how that.
It's okay. Look,
It's
yeah,
a
there's 5 of us. There's 5 in the legend. Totally. I just, you know, like I like look at Brian, he and I, like as if Brian and I have talked about this already, like about how I'm gonna confront Sumner. Like, so I'm like, see, okay, cool. He didn't know.
You see, he's like about to bite his ankle. He's like,
oh, sorry. Yo, though, Sumner, apparently one of us is.
you see it. He seems a little bit shocked. Well, how? He looks around.
Do you think it could be maybe not one of us, but one of our other us's now that we're finding out we're just a bunch of realses?
Your reality.
We gonna have to kill everybody.
You see Grayland at that question kind of is like,
Brains on Bruno.
of course. And you see he sits up and, Sumner's like, sir, no, rest yourself. And he's like, no, there's no time for this. It is my own weakness that has led us here. Yeah. And he kind of stands up, he gets out of bed. Again, it's like his clothes tattered. There's some not very nice stains on his robes and shawl. He's been in bed for a couple weeks, do the math. And so, but you see kind of gets up and stands out of bed. He's like, Sumner, bring me a meal. Bring me my generals. Brunor, of course. Of course. He looks around and he's like, none of you are the five. The five. Yes. And he reaches over to a journal and he starts flipping through it. He opens it up. He says the five. Me. Titania.
Hey.
Machias. Queen Mab. And he looks at you, Thoricus, for a moment. And Beckus Grumblehelm. And you see this like kind of light goes through his eyes as it's like he makes this connection. The ritual, it was incomplete. Never truly severed. And you see he kind of starts like going into that place where he's like connecting some dots and he's like putting all of these things together. And yes, Brunor, you're kind of thinking out loud has kind of made him draw this connection that perhaps the incomplete ritual that now we got kind of know that was cast upon Beckus Grumblehelm in the origin made the results of this maybe this incomplete ritual of Thoricus's.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I high-fived Brian, like I figured. Fuck yeah!
So, like I said, Graylin's a man with many answers.
I can put things together. Listen,
Listen, cool. I high-fived Graylin, like I'm gonna be like, yeah, Brunor did it.
Wow.
Yo,
it's a really-
I'll clean this man's outfit up too. Like, fuck being all dirty.
So, you prestidigitate the filth from his clothes, which everybody there appreciates. Maybe you pop one extra one that's just maybe a perfume or something that smells nice.
Aw.
Yeah, now you don't smell like shit.
You see Sumner sends out for the generals to gather. He says, prepare the war councils. It's time that we put this army into action. Yes, sir. You see just the life of like, oh, we're going to do something. As they all kind of run off their various ways back to assemble the war council. You see Graylin summons a couple of the people nearby to gather the armor and the clothes of the Griever King, and they begin kind of clearing out the tent that's in there of all the from its various states of disarray and kind of setting it up for it to be like a little bit of a war council to discuss what's to come. You see Graylin like looking through all the papers and everything, and he looks, and you see Sumner kind of like goes up and whispers something in his ear, and he kind of turns and looks at you all, and he's like, so Shren wishes to sell the luck blade, eh?
Cha.
And he looks over at you, Tynna, like directly in the eyes, and he's like, I understand if you need some time to settle your affairs. And he goes back and starts kind of drawing out a little bit of a war map on a table and starts moving the pieces into play. You see, he's basically said, it's like, you guys are still free to do whatever you need to do right now. He's about to get back to getting this army moving.
Does Graylin doesn't know that we know about Vegeta? Or wait, is Graylin like not aware that we know all this shit about them being up in Nam Buldir? Because they're all...
That's true. Like as far as it's like you're not really familiar with how much Graylin knows about your guys' knowledge. He does seem to be pretty keenly aware of world events, but he, it's like, but yeah, that might be something worth mentioning.
Cool. Well then, and Brunor kind of says this loud enough. Is there a plan that you're coming up with that you need us privy to, or are you saying we can go take care of this Luckblade situation and all of our other shit we have to do with like my sister and all that other shit up in Nam Buldir?
Yeah, you see Graylin's like, yes, of course. It's here, gather round, and he kind of spreads the map out in front of you. I'm going to bring you guys over to the actual map. It doesn't have the Skyshrine Peaks on it, forgive me. So you guys are in Radella, over here, kind of center in the map here by the Dryad's Colt and everything. Your plan was to continue up these rivers, the waterways, to the city of Nam Buldir, where Vegeta Shalefist is, where Ulara was last, and now you know that Shren is selling the Luck Blade, or having an auction for it. So yes, up north of Nam Buldir, which again, I do apologize, is not represented on this map, is the Skyshrine Peaks. Now, Grayland is like, we can save many days' travel if we continue north through the small hills nearby, protected from the enemies of the forests that prevent us from going straight over. And basically he's like, if we go north and then over, we can cut a couple days off our journey and catch up with the armies that are leaving from Nam Buldir. So his plan is to take the Fellsworn army to go help put an end to whatever this like Fey magic madness that Achias is privy to go join forces and kind of like help squash that beef up at the Skyshrine Peaks. So he intends to rally his troops, leave Rodella, and move north, and then kind of cut over to the mountain. And then, as basically said, you guys are free to do whatever you want, or if you have any input to this plan, he's more than welcome to hear it. You did, after all, save his life.
So, Thoricus, do you have any
What's
thoughts
up?
about that? You've got a lot going on right now. We're about to go to Nam Buldir to kick some ass and take some names.
I have a lot of feelings right now.
Yeah, well, how you doing? Oh, check in. We're checking in.
I'm not real sure what to do. I say, like, let's just go take care of shit, and I usually figure shit out along the way. So I'm with that. Like, let's call the Ghost crew back. Tanara's nice and rested. She can take back over. We're all caught up. Armies are good to go. These guys can plan their attack up at the Sky Shrine Peaks. Did I get that right? I think
Sky
I
Shrine
got that.
Peaks, yes.
Fucking nailed it. I'm good at this. All right, we're planning. We're doing it. So yeah, let's get the Ghost Boys back to the boat. Yeah, let's go. Let's get on to Nam Buldir. I'm with that. I can deal with my feelings on the river.
All right, feelings on the river. Okay, how about you, Tynna? How you feeling? We're about to go check out your dad. You and Devat. How you guys feeling? Listen, I'm just checking in. Here we do. Doing a check-in with the five.
Yeah. Do a little vibe check. I totally understand.
How you feeling?
Yeah, same as Thoricus. I'm having a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings,
Right.
But mostly I'm thinking about, well, one, how the Drowned Hounds obviously did not complete their task, and two, we have to steal that blade back. That's what I think that we should do. We'll steal it, snatch it right back for ourselves.
Okay, I like that.
But that's just what I'm thinking about right now.
Love it. I'm feeling it. It's very good. How about you, Devat? How you feeling? What are you thinking? We're about to go see your dad and steal some shit. What's up?
What's up?
At first I was mad when I found out about the fractionation ritual. But I guess either way you slice it, whether it's because of the ritual or because he's actually my dad, I still wouldn't be here without him. But fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he's doing though.
I have like a little spot in my scrimshaw that says pivot, and I'm like, that was my dad.
Yeah, Pivot was, just to kind of take us there. It's like, good sentimental. But Pivot was, in the gnome city that you were sold to as a slave, basically. Became like a father figure, was the one that taught you music in the first place. You remember, dude, you're kind of an angry, mad child having been put through this, and he was kind of able to help you channel that energy into music, and thus began kind of your ascension toward this bardic magic that you took to originally, a magic source that seems a little farther away now that you've gone, so heavily toward the magics of death and the warlock. But yeah, Pivot was the man who helped you escape that life, and probably faced a punishment for doing so. But a kind man indeed that helped you when you were kind of going through it as a boy.
Yeah, David, I want to second that thought. It's not about the family that we get. It's about the family that we find. And that's why we've worked so well along the way.
Oh, Cha.
Cha, indeed.
Cha, indeed. And how about you, Rial? How you feeling? What's going on, man? Like, we're about to go, we're continuing on, and you're dead.
True. And as I start talking, like, I've had this revelation that all my friends are having now, like a little while ago. So it's like I'm a little more privy to this. But I just want to walk over to my buddy Thoricus, sling an arm around his shoulder, and just kind of, friend shit, and address Thoricus and the entire group. We're all cut from the same cloth, a very beautiful cloth, and whether it was fate's design or not, that we're all here together, I'm glad that we are. And then just kind of invite everybody. We gotta group hug this shit out, man. Like, this is some big shit we're jumping into. Like,
I'll smoke to group hug.
Absolutely.
Group hug.
Group nug.
There we go.
Group nug.
Group nug. Oh, all right. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
Hugs and nugs.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. So yeah, once again, so often this has been the case through your journey, the bubble, the swelling of the story, the pop of the tension of the realities that you guys have all faced together, some handling these inner journeys with each other, learning from each other's strengths, finding balance in each other's weaknesses. And once more, you all find that this connection, whatever this bond that you have weaved your way through the world, that is not a creation of magic. That is what you have done. Like, it is a real thing. No step of synthesis to make each of the bonds that you all have forged of your own accord. And the actions that you've taken, although, seemingly guided from the shadows by strange menacing figures, that there's no way they could have predicted every single thing that you guys were going to do. And just that the way you guys have managed to survive this struggle together, you feel that as you all kind of share this hug in the ranks. You see some of the other soldiers nearby, like, oh, that's beautiful. And they're just crying tears of joy having overheard this thing. And he turns around and he's like, Valmont, I love you too, man. Oh, and you see that this like bubble burst of anxiety and stress as that wave of happiness that so many times before has washed off of these moments you guys share together, as that echo of that mushroom cloud of joy and connection that just kind of goes through the camp. You see the soldiers all one by one kind of start gleaming from that same connection. That yes, they've gone through hell, but they went through hell together. And that message, Rial, Rial, that message kind of, you see wash through the army of the Fellsworn, and you see the light being lit in those around them as the word that Greyland has returned starts being whispered from camp to camp. And, now the legend of the Five starts being a little less important to them as their supreme lord and commander, the man they have pledged their lives to, the Fellsworn King, is back. And so now that energy mixed in with, that beautiful revelation of your own there, Rial, just kind of, you see it start filling the ranks, and everybody starts prepping their bags to go, and they're filled with fucking purpose. And that awesome thing was created by you guys. Damn. So yes, you see the armies they're getting ready to go. They don't know yet where they're going, but they know that Greyland will tell them the right answer. A lack of faith they do not have in him that he perhaps has in himself. And yeah, you guys, at this point, you see Sumner, obviously would love to just like hang out with Rial all day and like throw football. And, but it's like, he's like, I haven't been doing my job. And right now is when it's like, I'm the guy that has to get the money to the people, to get the food, to get the troops, to get the things moving. He has a lot to do. And you see, he comes over to you, Rial, and he gives you a large hug. You hear, he wraps his arms around you. And he's like, whatever the truth of your origins may be, the reality of the life that we spent together, even briefly, is real. I have faith. You will save us all, Rial. He just kind of puts his hands on your shoulders. He's like, I'm immensely proud of the man that you've become. So he turns to you, Brunor.
No, I'm good. I'm just fine.
He looks. Oh, okay.
We're good. Yeah.
And he just kind of holds the shamed sash up, and he's like,
That's you, man. That's all you. Shameful. Bye.
Sorry about the baby. I was proud of you too.
Yep. Bye.
I'm proud of you too. Yes, you see he just returns to your reality. He's like, I apologize. I must attend to anything. You got anything else you guys want to do with Sumner before he kind of starts dealing with the moving of thousands of troops?
Well, I just wanted to say, fucking Jake, Riel, just both of you. Fucking, I love you. From both Drew and Thoricus. What a beautiful message. And yeah, as a former troop, that kind of, you forget what you're fighting for sometimes. Something like that. So that was beautiful. I love you. And I would just like to, I'm pretty much going to dump all my inventory, all my riches and stuff like that. I got everything I need in these guys. So if it helps out the army get more prepped and, built up, whatever can help shit along, I need for nothing. I have the 4 and Brian that I need.
All right, yeah. If you, I like this idea, Thoricus. If you guys have an amount of money or anything from your inventories that you want to give, just let me know what that amount is, because that does factor into some of the experience of this army moving forward and what they can do.
Our last haul was 100 platinum, 3,000 gold, and 5,000 silver. that was from the boat. And I love you too, best friend. I love all you guys.
I fucking love you guys.
I mean, yes.
I fucking love you
all
guys.
of you guys. Of course. Of course. It's
No, just Jake. We saw what happened. We know what you said.
Yeah, we heard it.
It's not like it's recorded or anything.
My connection is dog shit, but my soul is uplifted.
Take that, internet.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I love that. Cool. Yeah, I mean, like, any wealth that we can help with the town, because I'm sure they've been absolutely choked, like, stifled.
Yeah.
You know? Like, no, thank you. Am I right, guys?
Yeah. Totally. I'm not saying that we've chosen a side or anything, but I mean, this guy seems pretty dope. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, the legend you know of Greyland, he did kill one of the most evil gods, Bane.
Yeah.
God of abject evil, was said to be killed by Greyland Faragor. So it's like, as far as guys that are, have the credibility, Greyland has killed an evil god and then runs a kingdom that you guys have experienced. It's like he doesn't force the lifestyle of his kingdom upon the people. He just offers them their protection. His army is all volunteer. None of these men were forced to fight. Like, every single person came here from a wish that he used to talk all around the world. So it's like, this dude is like one of the heroes of legend.
Fucking, yeah. That sounds like right up our alley, right, guys?
Sure.
He might have burned a church or two. He might have.
Right.
I mean, listen, who hasn't? Who hasn't? No. Come on.
I'm not in it for the perks.
That's just
You go
on
back
a
in his journal.
Tuesday.
Ha! See? He burned a church too.
Who hasn't
There's
burned a
tons of
church?
them in there.
Ladders up? Wait.
Oh, lighters.
Lighters.
Lighters?
Ladders up.
We are.
Light-
We
Oh,
are?
lighters? Oh,
Ladders up.
oh
maybe
you were
not.
serious.
Seems to
Lighters.
work.
So we are?
Yeah. Lighters.
Oh,
Okay. Ladders up.
yeah.
Lighters up.
I'm
Light-
sorry, lighters.
Ladders.
Ladders up.
All right.
They all had
Lighters?
blistered thumbs that day.
Yeah, they did it. They did it for 3 hours.
That's the finale. What?
It was the most incredible Tuesday that there ever was. 3 hours. Light. Yep.
What?
Wait, so we are? We're doing
Wait,
it
you-
again?
Are you, Drew?
Oh, no.
What?
Lighters.
My connection.
And then you'll be saved.
I said lighters up. We need to say lighters.
Oh, right.
Lighters up.
Oh.
Lighters up. But, yeah. We're doing.
So sorry.
Okay. All right. So yes, you see the stage is set. The armies of the Fellsworn. So yeah, do you guys have is that how much did you want to donate that last haul? Is that what you were saying, Rio?
I mean, I don't know. It's up to.
That's group loot. So what do you guys think?
Like, I'll literally give you everything I got that I don't need. Like, I'm keeping ammo and weapons and rations. Like,
What if we need to get some stuff from Nam Buldir?
I
Yeah, we
will
might.
take it by force at that point.
Give me that candy bar.
I mean, this is where we're at. People, we're in I don't need money. If I want something at this point, I'm taking it. And I got four of the baddest motherfuckers on earth to back me up.
It's the hero discount.
It's like when you're really famous or really like wealthy, people just give you stuff for free all of a sudden, like for some
That
weird
weird
reason.
paradox.
Like, yeah,
Guys,
as
But
royalty,
if I have to Winona that shit, I will Winona that shit.
In all
Thoricus
fairness,
is like, look,
we
I'm level
never,
11. I'm not buying
Judd?
things
Are
anymore.
you talking about Winona Judd?
it's always Winona Judd.
Sure am.
Judd.
Absolutely.
Guys, when it comes to our clout, like, we never took that carriage back.
No.
Oh, dear Lord.
Promise.
Can we send him a carriage? Can some of that money just go to the
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, he
Yeah, can we
deserves
set
a
aside
cut.
enough money to build a bomb-ass carriage.
So that
Brand
sweet
new.
halfling man.
Send
Back,
it down
back
there.
to that dude.
I say
It's like decked out.
we split the wealth between all of this entire town and then that guy.
Yeah.
He's like sitting on his porch like, I wish I had my wagon still. And then suddenly a boy runs up with a package and he's like, what's this? Yeah, that's me. Oh, opens a box. It's just full of gold. Bless you,
And
Five.
the note just says, should have bought the insurance. Wink. Oh my god.
And he just looks up at the sky and is like, and then you see he buys 1,000 wagons. And he's a monster now. You have to fight him. He's the wagon man.
Oh my god.
It's wagons.
Wow.
Thanks for watching Weed&d.
Thanks, guys. And that's the finale. We tricked you. No. I will have you fight the wagon man now. That's a reality. If not
That's
this
actually
session,
in the
eventually.
session.
Yeah. That's a great idea for a villain, and I'm stealing it. All right, so yeah, you see the armies basically begin gathering. You know, he summons his war council, where he proceeds to basically tell them the same thing he told you guys. You're welcome to like watch. You see, you're not being hushed out or anything. Like you're more than welcome to be there. If you have anything else that you wanted to add to that. But the plan right now is they are going to get the army ready, and they're going to go north and then cut over to the Sky Shrine Peaks, where the world's armies appear to be gathering as the flying islands draws closer and closer to it. You guys have the, you know, if at that point, if you're done with the war council, you guys have the ghost blacksmiths kind of setting up on the beach that had been helping take care of some of the work. As you can, you know, in that area, a lot of that work has been done. So did you guys have anything else you wanted to do before we kind of go toward that little boat area stuff? Cool. All right, so, you know, you start walking through again, like as you guys go, that initial surge, that rush where there's like this angry adrenaline where they kind of started fighting around you guys, just, it's like that displaced energy, that's mostly gone now. They look at you as nothing more than a boon. Like the fact is, you walk amongst their ranks. The people they were singing about last night, you know, around the fire, those people are walking through after having shown up. Now suddenly Greyland is fine. Like, of course, you know, it's just this confluence of legends in their mind. You see, they're almost a little like, they don't want to talk to you guys. They just want to see you march through their camp and be instilled by your power. You know, the ring of benevolence shining from Tynna, the magical laughter and energy kind of spilling from you all, you know, from that connected moment. You see, they all kind of take that in tow, and this army appears ready to go. You know, they start breaking down the massive encampments and rather quickly start setting themselves to prepare to go. You know, the sloshy mud that once just kind of just stuck everything in is now getting, you know, leveled out and smashed. You know, boards are being placed down, small makeshift roads to get the heck out of town and allow Rodella to heal. You see some of the gold that you sent to the mayor of Rodella, you know, basically the idea being that they can recover from this blighted land area for a while. The messenger that, you know, takes it off to go into the town is, you know, thanks you guys profusely for, you know, sharing some coin with the people of this city, and assures you that once this army's gone, it won't be too hard to get things going back up. You know, it's like it's farmers and stuff that bring their goods into this town, so that, you know, they thank you for your heroicness in that aspect as well. You kind of start coming back toward the beach area where your boat is. You know, you see the spectral servants of the ship that you know help make it go with no sails or anything. You see them working as blacksmiths. You see Tynna, after her rendezvous with Thoricus, has now returned back to the ship and is kind of overseeing the finalization of some of these last bits. You see that the spectral crew, by having been able to work without stop, without yielding to fatigue, has managed to take care of much of the overflow of the equipment. There's still stuff to be done, but you guys have certainly helped knock out 3/4 of that massive pile of backlog. The blacksmiths, when next they set camp, will have a much easier and manageable task. Thoricus, you see Tynna, set against the waves of the water that rush onto the beach, where your ship is kind of docked. She kind of turns around, happily sees you, and waves to each of you all, but a little extra special to Thoricus. You see she comes up and she's like, "We were able to get most of the work done. It is a blessing that you have all brought to us, and it sounds as if the army is prepared to march as well. It seems destiny follows in your wake." She kind of bows to each of you and then locks eyes with you for a moment, Thoricus. You see her kind of start fingering that little towel at her side as she nervous and just, never was really good about handling her attraction to you in front of your friends and other people. And so
Brunor teasingly shoves Thoricus out of the way and goes, "Hey, thank you, Tynna. Thank you so much for all of your help. I really appreciate it."
It is good to see life back in the arms of these men. And I myself feel renewed. You see she kind of sheepishly gives a little wink to Thoricus.
Yeah, it must have been real nice to be able to take a break.
You see her cheeks flush red. She's like, "Oh, yes, a break indeed. It was lovely."
He just has that renewing quality, doesn't he?
That backlog.
Are we? We are, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
What's happening?
Riel is starting to good joshing.
Lucky 7.
Good Josh to me.
We're in Vegas. It counts. Yeah. No, Riel, unfortunately, you're only drawing more attention to a sheepish person in this moment. And you see she's just like, she's almost burying her face in the little rag that she keeps. She's just kind of like biting it, looking at you all nervously.
I'm gonna go to the boat. I'm gonna go to the boat.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Let's.
I rush away, Riel.
Everyone's real happy with the work that we did, Tynna. Thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna stick around just for a second, though, if that's
Bye.
Okay.
As you all walk, you see the sweet spectral crew takes the sign, quickly breaks down their workstations and begins going back onto the boat. You all walk up, shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of these 50 spectral, soldiers that are connected to the ship, the Queen
I'll help
Anne.
him carry stuff back to the ship.
Yeah, you guys just kind of start. You don't even really need to tell them. You just kind of think what you want them to do, almost like the doors on the ship itself, and they just start acting out. What it is that you've told them to do. They start preparing the ship. Thoricus, you stand on the beach with Tynna. What do you do?
Just I'm an old bro hug. Give her the double hammers.
The old two-pat? Yeah,
two
again,
pat.
it's like she's super nervous from that awkward joshing experience. So she's just like, "It was good to see you again, as always, Stone Reaver." And then she kind of notices some of your armor slats are a little janky, and the blacksmith in her kicks in. You see her just kind of set some of your stuff on your shoulders. She's getting you rigged and ready for battle.
And I'm feeling feelings right now, and I'm just gonna go with it, and
Feelings.
I'll just I'll just. No one's looking, right?
Yeah, you're free.
All right, so then I'll just kiss her. It's fine.
All right.
It's fine.
Ah.
No one's looking.
No.
Oh, now my cheeks are red. Get out of here, Drew. All right. No, yes. This beautiful moment, obviously, is you've come in the hero to her life once more. Just, it's like every time you show up, you've saved her from a dragon attack. It's like you guys you respect each other as human beings and creators. This elven-dwarven relationship of sorts, something, you each have gleaned knowledge from each other. It's just a beautiful moment. And you guys are on the beach, and you know Thoricus, you get that feeling in your stomach, that it's like, is this the last time you're going to see her? You know, and it's just like, you don't know, but it's like this feeling, you know, you're almost, as you look at her and you know, the moment between you is shared, you have this like brief flash of that statue of Thoricus the Blightbringer, you know, and that dark shadow that existed in the Shadowfell, like what that vision represented, you know, this strange, although now everybody around you feels even more connected, you're somehow, there's a strange energy shift between you and the rest of the five, you know, whether it's voiced or not. And so, you know, it's in this kind of moment, you know, that's such like a nice, touching, beautiful moment. You can't help but, you know, see a flash of that dark stone, you know, menacing figure of statue that you saw, that you wrested one half of your very axe from.
Over the Sea of Graves, I believe it was.
Yes, with an ocean of graves, a sea. Well, yeah, you're right. It was a sea. The Sea of Graves floating behind it. So yes, after we kind of let you guys have your moment, you see Tynna explains that she's going to continue on with the armies. They need her skills, and that she's best suited there. She wishes you the best, obviously, Thoricus, and you see in her eyes she understands. She has that same feeling that you do.
Yeah. Sweet. Cool.
So you guys hop, let me bring you back over once more onto the Queen Anne. You see the spectral crew, you know, starts going back below the decks, you know, where the prison cells were that at one point you guys, you know, when he was held in, even though it was not a fully real thing. But yeah, you guys are once more on the ship, the Queen Anne. You know, you start breaching from the boat. The spectral servants start moving. You know, you see Brian just kind of flexing his wings in the sunlight. You know, once more, just like from one massive moment of destiny toward the other. You know, you guys set the ship toward the city of Nam Buldir. As far as this goes, you would probably have I'd say 4 hours of boat time. So that's a short rest for sure. For some of you guys, that's like most of a long rest. So you guys can do with that 4 hours whatever you like. But yeah, feel free to use hit dice and refresh any stuff that refreshes on a short rest.
Does that reset my strength?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Remember when we were like, players never forget to restore their strength. They might remember to reduce it. But yeah, no. The shadow that drained the strength from you, that does reset on a short or long rest. So feel free to use any hit dice to heal up if you need to. You also have those other hours. So on your way to Nam Buldir, would there be anything on the ship that you guys would want to do in that time?
Cool. While everyone else is kind of going about their business, Brunor is going to take the time to trance, baby.
Nice.
Why not? Fuck it. Let's go for it.
You see, you know, Brian kind of like hops up to that top deck above where the captain's seat is, and he's just like offers you his wings, almost like a little hammock, you know, like a little sleepy spot. And he settles down his big frame. You know, he's buff. He's got the big stone giant strength belt. And he just kind of sets his big frame down and kind of like nudges you over, like, let's take a nap.
Oh, hell, chaw. And I like give everybody the like, hey yo, and then goes up and
nice.
Trance.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Good old AO.
Ayo. Like, looking at you.
All right. What about you guys? So Thoricus, what are you doing?
Well, I restored my strength. I used 3 hit dice and got all but one of my hit points back.
Nice.
So I'm pretty satisfied with myself. And I kissed a girl before. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, you did. Also, it is worth, because you do have that other thing. You could also take 3 hours off of your book if you wanted to read your Tome of Knowledge.
That'd be great.
So that would be 3 more hours off that. What about you, Tynna?
Yeah, I restored my energy a little bit as well. But I'm really stressed about this upcoming encounter. So I want to like wander the ship a little bit and see if I can't find the kitchen and make some food so I can stress eat.
Yeah, you know, you see in the captain's quarters, themselves, as you think about the door and it materializes, you walk in. It's like the best little cooking spot would be in this captain's quarters area. He's got like a little boiling pot and everything. Not a lavish kitchen area, because again, it's like mostly undead people that were on the ship. The captain was one of the only ones that needed to eat, and so it's like you could set up a little something there, kind of like they did with the forge. You know what I mean? Pretty similarly, you could set up a fire. The wood doesn't seem to burn. And yeah, you're able to cook.
Yeah, and I mostly start cooking for like the ritual of like just like mixing the things and putting the batter, and I just like whatever appears is there, and I think I get a nice little zucchini bread out of it.
Ooh, yeah, let me get, we've done this before, Tynna. Again, being above, you're back in the sun, you're out of the nightmare realms, you're feeling the warmth of the Green Lady. We've talked how much hearth is part of her lesson, and how preparing these great meals for you guys in the past has had some ability to channel into some of the magic of your god. Go ahead and give me a religion check.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, 22. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So you with a 22, unfortunately you didn't have advantage, but the 22, it's still good to see it.
Still really good.
Yeah, that crushes it. Yeah, you rolled an 18 instead of a 20. So yeah, you crush it. Tynna, you feel that, almost again, like you've had this before, whereas you don't really think about the recipe as much as your arms are just drawn to the energy of certain ingredients. And it's like the warmth and the love of the lady is instilled through your hands as you knead the dough. And there's this magical connection that you have to this beautiful goddess, What a relief compared to where you started.
It's like a meditative prayer almost, and like the kinetic energy of baking connects me to her.
Awesome. So I'm gonna write this down. Tynna. All right. So you guys, what about you? What about you, Divot?
I've got a lot going through my mind right this moment, and I'm kind of just going with the flow, really.
You kind of take yourself toward the front of the ship, and you can't help but feel that distance beating in your chest. Rial, you hear it too. That beat of the last remaining acorn of Sithis' power. Only 2 forms of Sithis remain, as is the shared destiny linked between you and Rial. You must extinguish them, and one of them is indeed still at Nam Buldir. You can feel it almost as if it's pulling the spectral people that row at the ship with their invisible oars that draw this boat by magic across the seas, bringing you once more to this channel of your destiny. But it's not just that divot that you feel in the wind, but also your own father, this person you barely know, that everything you know of him has been terrible, and has clearly mistreated Tynna, who now has this connection to your own life energy and the fractionation ritual that may have created you both. It's just this swirl of feelings as you kind of stand near the ship. Rial, you see Divot kind of separate himself and go toward the front of the ship, but you too feel this beating in your chest. What do you do?
Well, I see everyone kind of dispersing, and I understand, like, they're all going through a lot, and sometimes you just need to take that breather. So I'm gonna let them do that. Like, we all process things at a different rate and whatnot. So I'm gonna let them, get everything kind of resituated. And I'm gonna climb up the to the crow's nest, with little Kindly there. We're dealing with Shren Oldbuck. Like, I don't know much about Nam Buldir, but just to have an eye in the sky can't hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of, if it's doable, like, go into a trance. But if I can be there ready if some shit goes down.
Kindly, being it would be able to do that. Like, he's kind of keeping watch, and then, like, if he needs to rouse you, he will.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna mosey on up, all nice and tall and high, and.
All right, you.
Yeah. I don't rest at all. I'm just on the front of the boat, like.
Restless. Yeah, Divot, the swirling destinies all around you. You know, you all feel it's like, even though it's a beautiful day now, free from the smoke-choked skies of the army of the Fellsworn, you know, once more the blue sky, the red sun still frozen in place as it has been since Achaeus froze it there so long ago. You know, each of your own swelling destinies as you all kind of separate yourself. Brunor in your trance, Rial up on the top in your trance, you know, Thoricus sitting, you know, getting a little bit of rest and then just kind of leaning against some barrels and reading through your book. Divot, this moment with destiny, and you shared on the bridge. Tynna's, you know, you kind of weave into the light magics of the Green Lady, and you're all doing exactly like Rial said, just having that purge moment, to just deal with the questions, the things, having a little time to yourself to formulate your own thoughts on what's been revealed and where, you know, although you all know your bond is strong, where that bond sits today. You know, some of you have harder revelations to handle, but they're all very heavy nevertheless. And Rial, after several hours, we'll say you all get the benefit of your 4-hour trance. So if you're long resting in that 4 hours, you're good. Rial, after this 4-hour period, you all, you know, just kind of losing yourself. You know, Tynna, your bread is just finishing now. You know, you're taking these zucchini loaves and they're ready to cut. You know, Brunor, you're kind of coming out of this just trance, dealing with, you know, you hear the crying, the baby cry of your sister in your ear, and that visual that you had in the royal chamber again, and just, you know, it's like your mind just trying to hash through some of the details of this moment. You know, Thoricus, you finally finishing, you know, one more chapter in this book. You feel that bubbling in your brain from the magic energies about to instill you with the knowledge of the tome. And Rial, you feel the pressing paw of Kindly the cat on your frame, rousing you. You see as you come to, he's looking at you with heavy, you know, the galaxy eyes that swirl in his eyes. He's looking at you very concerned. You see he lifts himself up and kind of hops up, you know, just kind of like balancing in the ocean on the edge of this thing with perfect dexterity. You see he stands on the little ridge of the crow's nest and beckons you to come up and look. And you guys are nearing the beaches of Nam Buldir. You see the large castle gates of this, mostly it's, you know, it's like the red sand city. It's not a desert, but it's an extremely dry area, having been on the other side of this giant mountain range, you know, Malor the mountain. Most of that water gets trapped there, and so you have this like kind of arid area with this classic red sand, similar to the Burakan area. So, you know, you see it's not quite desert, but it is an arid area. You see the water of the river that leads up to the cities, you know, kind of breaching through. And there's just this massive, you know, most of you, and I don't think any of you would have ever been to Nam Buldir. So you see this massive stone bridge that goes between the landmass kind of to the south that would lead to the Malachite Mountains. This massive stone bridge with these huge stone gates that just go on all around this massive city. And this river just kind of like continues upward, narrows down a little bit, but then goes into this massive kind of like port area where you can imagine at one point there would have been a lot of travel and ships and the like. But you are noticing, Rial, from your vantage point as you look on, that the city seems pretty dormant. You know, you're not seeing the smoke of fires in the air. You're not seeing fishing ships going up and down the river. You're not seeing a stir of many people or anything of the like. And as you're like having that realization, you see Kindly kind of taps you like that's not what he meant. And he looks down and he points toward a nearby beach. And on this beach, your eyes, you know, your elven eyes kind of focus in on what you're seeing. You know, it's a bit horrific at first, but you can't tell how. And you start seeing these tatters of black fabric shredded all over the beach. You start looking around, and suddenly you hear a "Bah! Bah!" And you look, and some of the black shreds on the beach appear to actually be ravens and crows of moody black, kind of popped all over. You see feathers drawn and like spilled blood, but there is no blood. It's all just this black, thick feathers and the heavy cloak materials of moody black. You see a barrel splintered into pieces and blown about all over the beach. This heavy anchor has been drawn and set in the water, where the heavy part of the hook is set in the water and the chains have been let out. You see chains, tattered and broken chains of them all over the place, and the tattered yellow jacket and hat of Crefus. But the thing that stands out most is this haunting scarecrow that has been made. Large sticks of wood wedged up in two directions that cut through the center point of a figure you now know quite well. And you see the brown jacket and the big skull cap of Dr. Gast has just been impaled upon these two sticks. His jaw itself has been broken away from his face, and the wood is the only thing that connects it to the frame of what would be the dread pirate captain himself. You see the chain remains of the small child creature that Crephus had left with. You don't see the physical corpse of Crephus himself, but you just see the aftermath of his jacket and clothes shred around, the chain length of his child spread in the sands around. You see as you kind of like look upon this haunting, visage before you, you hear, and from behind you in the waters around you, you start to see these little like skin sacks kind of being called to the beach. And with each wave crashing upon the beach, you hear this expressed sorrowful sound as these cries of the ocean itself weep at the destruction of these legends of the sea. And you watch as the skin starts to form into the drowned child drench. We never had a chance. And that's where we're gonna pick it up after intermission, guys. Ooh. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Yes. All right. Whew. All right, buds. We do us a 10-minute intermission around here. One, so I can blow my friends' minds with cliffhangers while they pee. Also, so that we can pee. Also, make sure you're hydrating. It is National Mason Jar Day. So, we got these little WeeDnD mason jars that we all like to rock courtesy of my man, Gus. 2 months Langley. What was it? G2B. Make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're hydrating. Big water, we're still coming for you. But man, we do this. Please take a moment to just lay your eyes upon all of this incredible art we are so blessed to have by all these artists that have contributed. It is amazing, like the works that have been created in the realm of this place that just exists kind of in our minds. What a fucking dream, right? The music of Sandy Stein, the guy who does all the original music, everything you hear on the show is created by one brilliant man, Sandy Stein. We are eternally thankful for him. Listen to his music at the volume it deserves to be appreciated. Lay eyes upon the beautiful stuff. We're going to do a battle royale. So have your little guys, if you're here on Twitch, this is why you should come on Twitch. Have your little guys fight out. You win, you get some gold. But yeah, we will be back, guys, to figure out what happened to those drowned hounds. Did you ever think you would feel bad for the drowned hounds? D&D. Welcome back, buds, to WeeDnD, pop positive live tabletop role-playing experience. Holy crap! What a little nice resolve we had there in the army encampment of the Fellsworn army. You guys have managed to save Greyland. Now his armies march to the north to gather with the other armies of the world at the Sky Shrine Peaks, while you guys tend to your matters in Nam Buldir. Both the beating heart of Vegeta Shalefist beckons you forth, as well as word of Shren Oldbuck auctioning off this luck blade that he stole from the side of Rial. I say we jump back in. All right, guys, we're back in. You know, you're kind of your ship comes ashore. The Queen Anne kind of beaches a small bit to let you take in the sight around you. You know, the tattered remnants of the drowned hounds. You know, you see the tortured child Drench. You know, the stitched together skins of all the children drowned at sea, now withering with a strange blue magic. You know, a faint energy remains in her, as if she too was victim to this savagery laid before you. We never had a chance. As you hear her cries as waves upon the shores, you know, beat against the sand, beach area that the bodies sit upon. You know, Dr. Gast's skeleton just shattered and only really held together by the flakes of wood that pierce and hold him up like a scarecrow to perhaps turn you away. You see the little littered bits of Moody Black, as well as the Captain Creefus and Kuhn, the living barrel. But there you stand. You know, your ship kind of asunder. You're looking around at the wreckage and the destruction cast forth against this crew, and the child, you know, kind of like pulling herself together, her stitched skin forming into, you know, the little region of her head where this green kelp-like hair flows out, water spilling from her mouth as she speaks. What do you do?
Well, I got nothing to say to her.
Oh, not even like, hey, who did this? What happened? Hello, hi, hello. Who did
Yeah,
this?
I am a drowned hound, even though I was not with the crew. I contain multitudes, and I feel for what happened. I'm super surprised. And how bad a shape is the Dretch in?
Drench is in real bad shape.
All right, well, let me spare the dying on the Drench.
Nice. All right, so you slap her with a little bit of your magic, and you see, some of the skin stitches together a little cleaner, but you see her eyes, sunken and far away. These large skin bags that hang down, kind of exposing this like soulless energy that floats behind her eyes. She just looks upon them. Holdbuck, Shalefist, Serpent, Assassins. We thought we were strong. You hear tears, beat against the shore once more. We thought we were powerful. But without the Kraken, we are nothing. And if you recall last time you saw Drench, she was kind of puppeted by this large electric blue tentacle. And in this case, that presence is not there. As if the Kraken, such a huge part of the power of the Drowned Hounds, is no longer connected with them.
So, it's probably safe to say that this auction may be a trap?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I fear you are correct.
Yeah, if they didn't know you were coming, like what a weird place to put this, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Riel's got a pretty sick Sisyphus costume.
Well, I'm glad we sent them first.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They used all their spell slots. Quick, cantrips! Cast your cantrips! Hope you're ready to make a lot of deck saves.
Trojan seahorse, am I right? Too soon? It's too soon.
It is.
Look how they massacred our boys.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, Tivat. So where did they go?
Beyond the walls, hidden in stone houses. And she looks, we should have run away. We should have fled. She kind of looks back, you see, again, thanks to the magic of Divot kind of holding her together, she's able to hold her frame, but you see even the seams that hold her skin, or, stitched together, skin together, water is just kind of like spilling out of them like tears from every crevice of her body.
Sorry about that, buddy. That's the worst. We sent you here and they fucked you up. And they're working together. We're all finding out now.
Ah, yeah, sorry about that.
It was our own hubris that led us astray. Apologize for nothing.
What of the captain? Did you lose Creefus as well?
I do not see his body amongst the wreckage. His child. They shattered him before him. So sad. You hear another wave of tears crash among the shore. So sad. But yes, it does appear that she does not know where his body is either, so she cannot confirm that he's dead.
Okay. Well, we gotta go in there, and if you want to kind of take your time here to collect yourself, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we should just get in there somehow inside, because that's where all the things are that we need to do and
They're like
be.
a sneaky.
Yeah,
It's like the
Do you
only
think
part of the
like-
map you can go to. It's like a
Yeah.
video game.
Do you think we should sneak in?
I think
Yeah.
we
Be all
should.
sneaky?
Yeah.
72
Well, sneaky
episodes.
freak
They've finally chosen stealth.
Yeah, that's an option.
Yes,
Yeah.
I guess sometimes it just doesn't really occur to me that it's an option.
So you do see Drench is like takes your offer. She's like, I shall return them to the sea. That is where they wish to be. And you see her little waves of sighs kind of start washing at the foundation of sand beneath this, horrific display. And you see some of the crows of Moody Black, the tattered shreds of her robes, start being washed into the water and carried downstream. And and then it starts to eat away at the root of the base of the wood that keeps Gast hung up, and you see he kind of crumbles to a pile of bones. That energy and zeal, kind of that charisma of this skeletal man now missing from his lifeless bones. And you see as like little pieces of them are all washed back into the waters from whence they came. So that drench she appears to be like kind of giving them a burial of sorts.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to join her in like blessing the bodies and helping with a life and circle of life and death ceremony, perhaps.
You see as, you kind of step off the boat onto the beach in the sand, you see it's like as if with each wave that she's bringing, she's using a little bit of her own essence to call forth the water to help bring them back. And you kind of bring in that instilled light of the green lady, that benevolence of the sun. And you offer a balance of life to this display of death before you. And you see the two kind of meld together. And you see that it is much easier. She's not sacrificing as much of herself and power to make this happen. So Tynna, you feel the connection of the green lady in this moment, and you offer a bit of a burial prayer blessing to the bones of these fallen mercenaries.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, then let's get in there. Question: is my I was returned to Elmira, but do I still have like people still looking for me? I guess.
Yeah,
Right.
you would imagine, the bounty on your head, you can't imagine that it would have gotten here any faster than you guys did, the news of that. If not, perhaps magical means this is a world full of magic, so it's like somebody, could be scrying or whatever. But yeah, you would think that bounty hunters aren't really like quick on the news either, so, it's like there's a good chance that some of the people in this town, if seeing you, would probably want to cash in on that 10,000 gold bounty.
Cool. I want a disguise of some sort.
Can I just this is gonna sound weird. Can I just hop in the sack with Rial? I look over at Rial and I'm like, hey, open that bag up. I'll hide in there.
He doesn't need to breathe.
He doesn't need to breathe. That's the key element of that. Yes, Divot, you can, in fact, hide inside of Krampus's sack. Now, you guys you cleared up a lot of volume by giving away the bulk of your treasure from the bag. That's a lot of coinage. And so there is space for Divot again. Like you guys, it's a pretty big closet-sized space. Divot, it's kind of a pocket of extra-dimensional space, so you're not keenly aware of every item around you or anything like that. But you do just kind of like, whoop, hop into the darkness. You feel the cold vacuum of this extra-dimensional space. As you kind of float around in dark nothingness, something that, might actually be pretty nice for you, Divot. You're just like, ooh, man, like, don't have to deal with this dilemma right now. So we kind of pop out of Krampus's sack, and there you guys are. So how do you want to go about doing this? Let me, so this is, I think you guys are on the Nam Buldir map, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna boop Brunor on the nose real fast and cast invisibility. She wants a disguise. What better than none?
That's true. Now that lasts, if I'm not mistaken, it's an hour.
An hour.
Okay.
Ooh.
1
Especially
hour.
if she still has a potential bounty on her head. I was like, I feel like we need more invisible people. I was like, Thoricus, 10,000 gold, yeah.
Yeah. Rial's like, man, I'm gonna get that money. I can do a lot with 10,000 gold. You just gave away a bunch of gold. 10,000 though. All right. So, yeah, you guys are on the ship. You see Drench is kind of like tending to this kind of like ending ritual. She seems pretty out of it and messed up. She doesn't seem too inclined to come with you guys. And if not really for the magics of Divot, you think that would have probably taken whatever life essence was left in her. But she is able to kind of sit there and ruminate on her return to the ocean as she, takes the final pieces of her allies with her. It's still the light of the lady. You see, she kind of like looks back to you guys and she's like, beware your own hubris. beware the steel axe. Shh. And she kind of starts washing away down the river. The pipes.
I look to Thoricus. I'm like, he only has one.
Right? What a
Jeez.
fucking waste of time this guy is. Seriously. Why are we even here? One axe? I bet you only has one side on it, too. Which?
Loser.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Loser.
Oh my god. This guy, one-sided one axe. Fuck's that problem.
Cool. Let's get in there. Let's go find them. Let's go see.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the plan? Here's just kind of like, here's a couple of your options here. You guys can kind of like make your way toward, you know, here I'm just going to ping a couple areas. Kind of on the northwest side, there's like a road that comes into the town, and there's a gate there that you could get into. There's the main city gate with the massive bridge that goes in there. There's also the port regions on either side of that main bridge, each of those with their own like little docking areas and such. You could also like attempt to like sneak over a wall somewhere. You don't see, you know, although there's like big guard towers everywhere, you don't see a ton of like dudes like armored helmets poking out or anything. Like, again, Real, you had noted, like, it's like the city doesn't seem to be bustling right now. It's oddly a little quiet, actually.
I'm extra curious about that. When you mentioned the serpents, I think that this is the guise of a quiet city. They're all waiting. They're waiting for something. So, I mean, if the group's cool with it, I'd like to create a diversion. And it's been a while, but I want to light one of those houses on fire.
All right, so yeah, which you go ahead and ping me. Which one of these do you want to set on fire?
They're a church.
Like you can kind of, like I said, you guys are kind of at these beaches here on the south side, the southwest. So you know you could walk around. You know, again, the closer you get, you know, I mean, obviously you're super stealthy, so you could just stealth your way around. Brunor's invisible. If any of you other guys are going to try to like disguise yourselves or anything, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I mean, like we're all in the thinking that this is a trap. So yeah, I want to see if I can't cowboy it up a little bit, bandana from my bag around my face, and if we can sneak in here, I think that's the best way to do this.
All right, yeah, you Real, you know, you kind of like getting that point pretty quickly. You kind of move over. Now you can see, you know, some of these areas, there's like big tall buildings that stand up. The city's pretty massive as far as like above ground cities that you've been to, you know, after having seen the extravagant kingdom of Elmira, it is a little less so, but it is a giant stronghold that you know was used in ancient battles to hold entire militaries, but since then has kind of fallen a little bit more decrepit. You see dwarven architecture all over, but the thatched roofs of the tops of these buildings are definitely flammable, Real. So you know, to kind of cover whatever way you guys decide to go, where do you want to set that fire at?
Would I be able to ask you for a perception roll to see what might most look like a fireworks or a armory kind of situation?
Okay,
where it's
yeah,
not just a fire, but things go.
Give me a perception check. So, you know, you're kind of looking for details amongst the many balconies of these tall buildings. You know, the walls are very tall, so you don't get the full picture, but perhaps you can pick up on something that others couldn't. You know, you're kind of peering. Unfortunately, again, because it is dwarven architecture, so many of the buildings themselves look similar in design. You're not really able to just determine any particular like valuable point of origin or particular function of this building. You do see that these buildings that are kind of up against the wall on the west side, they seem to be more like apartments. Like they seem to be like small living quarters for many people. And then that these areas, these like large square centers in town, all seem to have like their own small micro economies of their own. So you do see that this one here on the south, as far as like looking for flammable targets, there seems to be like the barn area where they would bring in like horses for travelers and stuff, where like the bardings would be kept. This little area over here has a big thatched roof as well as a wooden barn affixed to it. So that's a pretty flammable area.
Would they be expecting us to arrive by the water, or would they be expecting us to arrive by land because we know that they'd be expecting us to arrive by water?
Ooh.
Aha! But I knew that you would know that, and that's really how D&D is. It's well shown.
And whatever our planned entry point is by land, I feel like with smell sniper, I could just call it that now.
Smell sniper!
I should be able to cast it on the opposite side just to draw everyone potentially.
That's fair. Your range is pretty insane now.
120.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like
I was a little hasty jumping in that sack. I'm not gonna have any idea what the plan is. This will be fun.
no, you can have the sack top open. Yeah.
Yeah. hey, buddy.
Maybe we should enter from this little entrance, whatever this guy is up here with the.
I agree. Like from the north. Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. All right, so is that where you want to put the fire out, Rial?
Yeah, what do you guys think? I don't want to hit the stables, but just the barn part.
Just kill
Just
a
the
bunch of
part where the
horses.
humans meddle. I want to
What a
keep the
big-
animals okay. Shit.
Yeah.
Look, I'll kill children.
Yes, Thoricus.
Oh, well, I just wanted to ask. Well, I guess declare first. Super high, but then yes, ask. So Toko is still on the ship as well as the ghost crew.
Yes.
Okay, and I believe that we had Toko prep the ship before for some sort of a naval attack.
Correct. You got some
so
cannons.
Why don't we just go ahead and go with Bruner's and Tynna's plan? Attack right up north there, but we'll send the ship on down south, light that place up, put the roof on fire, scare the horses, scare the children. It'll be a fun time. What do you guys say?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Bar fight? Oh, does this place have a bar?
Fight.
Yo, you know it does. All right. Yeah, the dwarven architecture that you guys see, you're like, that bar, that you've seen Vegeta Shalefist in a couple times. It's like, yeah. So, awesome. So the plan is, if I'm just to clarify, you're gonna send the ship with Toko and the ghost crew, just let loose some cannons and cause a ruckus in the dock area. Is that correct? Or
Yeah.
the bridge?
Yeah,
where just go ahead and ping me
into
where
the
you want to
harbor.
send them.
Huh? Oh,
Well,
send them
Yeah, where do you want to send them? Yeah, in that area, like in this dock here.
straight into the harbor.
Cool. And then you've got the, and then Rial, you're going to set the fire here on the south end while you all sneak up to the northwest and try to get in through that old gate, correct?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Can I get a quick ping on my radar for Vegeta Shalefist? Where's that heartbeat coming from?
Whoa!
Oh.
Do that?
Wow.
Allow me to
that's
go to the GM
fancy.
layer, for it's been hidden all along before your very eyes. Here we go. So, you're kind of like pressing your hand against the stone. Both you and Divot, even you inside the void are like, man,
The
he's
hand
out
comes
there.
out the bag.
Here he comes. You sense the presence of Vegeta Shalefist. You can almost feel him in here in this main central kind of building. Again, you don't have eyes on it just yet, but you can feel him pretty close, like damn near the center of town.
Cool. Thank you.
Jesus.
Man, Drew, you
Old.
So,
much better looking, best friend. Much
Yeah.
better looking.
Fuck happened to you, guy?
yeah, Thoricus. That's a real thing. Like he's strangely way older.
Yeah,
He's like,
because I'm older.
Yeah.
What a loser.
Yeah, he's like extremely. He's like way older. But it's like you don't actually see him yet. So that
that's
was
what
just
carrying the weight of being a bullshit artist does to you, fucking Thoricus.
Heck.
Boom.
Truth grenade. You weren't ready for it.
Boom. One-sided
All right.
axe, rosy cheeks. You're done. You're done, you loser.
Yeah, you
Dunzo.
Go deliver some presents.
All right, we're gonna kind of do this
None of the orphanage.
like a bit of an action sequence. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a skill challenge, bit of a just kind of like we're going to roll it out. But you do start thinking about like what you will want to do when you get inside. But the plan is right now, and none of this has happened yet, so it's like we got to still kind of finalize on this. Ship's going to go into the dock and start firing cannons, while Rial is going to start a fire at this little region down here in the south, and then you guys are going to try to sneak in up into here into the city. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We're doing it like a skill challenge, guys. In this effect, by doing what you've done to set this up, I'm gonna go ahead and grant you 2 successes. This is a pretty big skill challenge, so depending on how we want to go with this. So, Rial, you're gonna be up first as far as you see Toko. He turns to you, Thoricus, and he's like, "I shall do as you ask for the Stone Reavers." Rah! And he holds up his little the former Lucille axe, and the ships start going. You see a couple of the spectral crew come from below the decks and start manning the cannonballs and loading the cannons. You see the Queen Anne itself starts, Brunor, you feel the wood of your homeland, kind of, your own destiny, connected, familial destiny connected to the ship. It kind of starts going down to help give you guys some cover to get in. Rial, you kind of like help everybody go up the wall. You're very stealthy. Give me a stealth check. This is gonna be kind of a group stealth. But you as the one instigating this with your fire and everything, this will be the first of many checks just to see if there perhaps is a guard or two kind of peering around. How able are you guys to get up to this north gate here without being detected?
Okay, well.
31.
You just kind of like you look around, Rial, and you notice that some of the sail material from the ship is similarly colored to kind of the grounds that surround it. And you're like, if we stay close to the base of the castle, of the wall, and kind of keep ourselves close and cover ourselves with this tarp, unless somebody's actively looking right over here for us, you think it'd be pretty hard to find you. Again, you never know if you pass a stealth, but in that case, you could be pretty sure that you did a good job. But yes, so do you guys want to set off the events that will transpire? Anything else you guys want to do before that?
Well, I would just like to tell Toko, like, as you pull into the harbor and just start lighting shit up, just scream Lucille, flash that axe around like you know something about something. Just let him know.
Nice. Nice. All right, yes,
Stone
you...
Reavers, all that good stuff. Just scream all that. They'll love it.
All right. You see, he's like, of course I will, Stone Reaver. I shall do as you ask. I shall raise hell with the best of them. Ah! You see, he turns around, he's like, come on, ghost men, let's make some noise. And he just like goes about, like, you see, he grabs like a couple cannonballs and just, he's so strong, he's just tossing them around, like, getting people ready. Yeah, the spectral crew
Toko. That was the coolest line ever. Come on, Ghostman. Let's make some noise.
Ghostman.
Pretty badass.
It's a Ghostman.
It's a Ghostman.
Sure glad we called that guy.
All right. I like this so much. You guys are so cool. Look how cool you are. All right. In fact, just give me a brief moment to bring your tokens in. Because we're going to do it this way. And I love it. Here we go.
Toko the pin.
Toko the token. This is Toko's token. God, that's hard to say. Because I've been token.
Nice.
We're doing it. All right. Bring you in. Sorry. This is just the minutia of Roll20. I'm going to say, Rial, you have mentioned that you have Kindly with you. So I'm going to give you that. And Brunor, you're kind of there. Divot, you're currently in a backpack, so it's a little bit of a stack there. So I'm going to bring the whole crew of you. Boom. Okay, Winter. We're allowed to talk about Brian. All right.
She's stoked. She's just really excited.
Mm-hmm. I am too. This is amazing.
I was really excited
so Rial,
to put
with your
Divot in
successful
my
stealth,
inventory.
you guys managed to work your way along the base of the castle. Rial, you peel off for a moment, jumping over to this little area where you get a small hill nearby where you have a small vantage point of this thing. You kind of weave your way up a couple stones, peek your head over the guard walls. It is as you suspected. You look around and it's like there's not like a posted guard duty or anything. Now, again, this city's glory days are long behind it, and there's not necessarily an army stationed here at any time. But you would assume, like, some town guards or something to that effect. But the guard walls, of the great walls of the city seem mostly unmanned, and you don't really see anybody walking around. You do notice, as you look, kind of peer over the wall, that there are people moving around. So it's not a ghost city or anything. There are people walking the streets. Many of them seem a little bit weak. You notice that they're all kind of hunched over. Now, again, life's not easy for non-heroic people in this time. A lot of them have lived pretty bad lives, but you do see, like, most everybody moving around is moving pretty slow. But yeah, you see the thatched roof that you had thought about. If you guys want to set this off, Rial, you can go ahead and shoot your fire beam.
Are you ready, everybody?
Let's do it.
Was that the signal?
Was that the signal?
Why don't they ever just...
It says signal.
He said, kiss me, kiss me.
Smart ass motherfucker.
Smart ass motherfucker. All right. What a bonfire you have thus created. You cast it at some of the hay on the ground, and it lights up and kind of goes up the wooden framing of the side and catches the thatched roof of this building, and you see it start going up in flame. Now, what's nice about this, it's like it's pretty moist from being on the water, and so it's like it really gets this real thick cloud of smoke that starts raising up. As you're peering over the wall, ready to jump back down and rejoin your group. You don't want to sit around too long, but you do notice, like, a couple of the bodies that are walking around in the streets start like, what's that? Looking up, and you see they're like, oh, fire, and you see just like an old man kind of runs and grabs a bucket of water and starts running over in that direction, and then, like, almost on cue, suddenly you just hear, like, boom, just like two eruptions of cannons, and you see off to the, just over a little bit to the east and the south, you see two plumes of black smoke as the cannons from the ship of the Queen Anne are fired off. You see it. They harmlessly, you guys made a point you weren't trying to hurt people. They shoot into big stone structures of the walls, knock down great pieces of brick, but you imagine it's more just to make some sound than anything else. But yeah, just as this happens, Rial, you see the two cannons bust. You see a great explosion of brick, and that old man that was, like, running with his bucket is like, wait, what? Oh, cannons, fire, cannons, fire. And he just pours the bucket of water on himself because he doesn't know what to do. I gotta get out of here. And he goes to neither of those things and runs north. To his cabbage stand. I'm kidding. All right, so you guys, Rial, you see if your trigger has been happening. You guys sneak along the sides of the wall. You hear a little bit of commotion, some people running around. You finally actually hear, like, a literal bell, like a ding, 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 ding bell, like they're warning, like they're calling for this fire to be put out. If your intent was to create a big, massive diversion, you have succeeded in spades. So now you guys kind of sneak up to this old gate. You see that at one point there was probably, like, an iron gate that came down, but this place is a little decrepit, so long since the iron bars that could have prevented access through this gate. But you kind of look and you just see the back alleys and buildings of these great stone dwarven structures, thatched roofs on the stuff nearest you. You see these kind of bigger squares like this one and the one in the center. Those are actually just, like, straight up stone buildings. So they don't have the same fears, but Rial, smartly, you put it down here where those buildings do not share that same quality. So, they're wanting to stop the spread of the fire before it's too late, but also there's cannons firing. So, as you witnessed with that one man, there's kind of they're responding to both of these things at the same time, and the kind of shadows of the people in the streets, the people that live here and stuff, seem to be running around, just kind of like, what's going on? And you use that chaos to gain access to the city. Like I said, you guys are kind of here at this gate. So, what do you guys want to do? How do you want to do it? And then there will be some rolls and checks.
I think the real question here is, who in here trying to start a riot?
All right, yeah. So Thoricus, do you want to do that? Do you want to, like, incite more panic?
We're trying to be kind of stealthy, but yeah, I'm just saying. I know. Has the stealth been broken at this point?
No, because you guys haven't really like, you know what I mean? Like at this point, everybody's kind of reacting to that, and nobody's really concerned themselves with you. Like I said, there's not really a guard duty here. If there was, perhaps they've already started running to the south where the fire is now that the bell is ringing. So you know, they all seem to be pretty connected to these distractions.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then I think we should all just, we should all just prestidigitate fucking trench coats and trilbies and sunglasses and kind of sneak in the back door with some jazz music playing in the background. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah. Yeah, you know, like the syndicate members that you saw, you know, they've all got their big their various flair about them, you know, kind of look like old-timey bandits. But yeah, you guys, I mean, the prestidigitate, I don't think can actually create clothing, but there is magic like disguise self and stuff. But you know, you guys kind of peer in the back alley there. Again, nobody's really particularly paying attention to you guys. And if you want to kind of scuttlebutt around the back side here, you know, hugging along this wall and avoiding the main central, you know, streets of the city, you can kind of do that. It would be another stealth check. It would have to be by somebody not Real.
Oh yeah, Divot can do it. He's in the back.
Can I reach my hand out of the sack and do it?
Be like this way. Yeah,
Say,
Divot, you're like, you know,
that shit's in
you
the
sense
back.
the great panic amongst the streets, and you're like, we could, if we flow against that wave, that rushing energy toward these distractions and everything, you could probably find, you know, you're pretty proficient at hiding in the shadows yourself. $15. All right, so you guys are, you know, kind of like you see the skeletal hand of Divot like come out and poke. Kind of, he's like, hey, go this way, like along this wall here, and you guys kind of start squeezing between this little area where the building is. There's a bunch of barrels and stuff. You know, you're just kind of like it's the back alleys of a kingdom long since its glory days, and there's just kind of like gathered stuff, you know, boxes and hay and animal droppings and the like. And as you come around this corner here, you see there's like one of those syndicate guys is like walking by. You see he's got his big black billowy hat kind of standing up, big long red sideburns, and he's just kind of walking down the street. You see he pulls out this little like pocket sundial, and he like laughs at the notion that like it's always the same time now. He's like and he puts it back away. You know, you think, is that one of Boxo's sundials? It might be. And so, you know, you see, you thought I forgot. You know, and you see he kind of stops and he looks up and he's about to like light a pipe of his own, and he's like, hey, who are you? And he kind of starts coming over to you guys.
Well, while they're talking, I want to see if I can find out whereabouts this auction thing is happening.
Yeah, Bruno, so you're invisible. So you kind of, do you want to just like kind of scamper off while they deal with this?
Yes!
Nice.
Oh my god.
Divot, you're the only one that can see, but you're in a bag, so you can't. Yeah, you guys all think Brunor is still with you right now. Bruno, you're invisible. You know, yes, you make a little sound with your boots, but it is, again, there's like so much going on. It's not really too much of an issue for you. You kind of start scurrying about the city. You just kind of want to look for signs of like groups of thugs and stuff like that, like kind of maybe see where the syndicate seems to be hanging around in the town. Is that your idea?
Yeah, I want to see where this luck blade could be.
All right, so give me an investigation check.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna give you advantage because you're invisible, so you can kind of just like peek around without having to worry about like dipping or. Ah! Oh my
Damn. Damn.
Motherfuckers.
All right.
Wowee.
I'm doing two because it's fair.
Tank the tank.
Did you have advantage or disadvantage, or did it not matter?
Or did it matter? That's the second time. Yes. All right. So, Brunor, we're just going to do this real quick. And it's like you pop off into the streets. You kind of look, you know, you stop for a moment and you kind of like look over at that central building. You know, you notice that both Rial and everybody was kind of paying special attention to it. But you're looking at it and you're like, that doesn't really look like a den of thieves or anything. So you kind of pass by and continue on over toward these neighborhoods over here to the east. But meanwhile, we kind of flash back over to you. You see one of these like syndicate dudes is kind of walking up to you guys. And he's like, Who are you?
As he asks, I'm gonna kind of like mime conversation with Tynna and Thoricus, kind of like he's interrupting us, the asshole. But I do want them to be privy to where Beckus is, since I got like the pulse on the heartbeat. So I'm kind of pointing in that direction. I'm like, yeah, you know, over there. What? Who are you?
Huh? I'm Johnny.
Tell him to talk
Who
to
are
him.
you? You see he's had a couple, you know, and he's kind of like just hanging in this back alley by himself a little shadily. But yeah, you see he's been imbued with a little bit of drink. So Rial, how do you want to go about this? Do you want to lie to him? Do you want to try to convince him just to go off? Well, how do you want to do it?
Let's actually first, I'll give him some thieves' cant and
Nice.
just kind of get a read on the guy. I'm just like, hey, how's it been? Good stuff,
Yeah.
right? Stealing's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, with those of you that don't speak thieves' cant, Rial just starts being like, click up, and he starts speaking in this like language that doesn't bear any match to any of the languages you've heard in your life. As he begins using thieves' cant, the secret language of the thieves. And so yes, you see he responds in turn, and he's just like, I lost my ass in a poker game, and I'm hoping that the guy who beat me comes down this way so I can stab him in the back and get me money back. You know how it is. And he's just kind of leaning against the thing, and he's like he like sizes you guys up, and then he's like kind of notices this giant crocodile, like Dracodile, like in the alley behind you, and he's just like doesn't really think he wants to be involved in what you guys are doing. So he's like, yeah, well, you're all right. I bet you're trying to get to the auction, huh? And probably bringing your magic beast to show off a little bit of clout. Maybe buy that blade. If you do buy it, you gotta hire me. You gotta. And you know, you're still just talking in thieves' cant, so only you guys understand this. But he's like, but yeah, he seems to know about this auction, Rial, and assumes that you guys are here to go to it.
We sure are. We're here for the auction. How could you pass up on a luck blade? So what's the best route of getting there? In your personal opinion? Good old Johnny. You
know, he's kind of like, and he keeps like trying to peek back to the Dracodile, and you're like really good about like turning his shoulder back away as you're like, no, we're trying to go. And you see kind of is like, you got to go down to he's like, the bold brash bastards doing it at the auction house proper. States 500. Oh, all kinds of bad people are in town. It's pretty inspiring. You see points down to the south here. Kind of, he's like, you go past the great big building there in the center, hang a Louis right there at the markets, and then look for a big auction house in the center of the buildings. And he kind of pings you down here. So he's like, that's where the auction house is on that side. You know, and as you're kind of having this conversation, Brunor, you're like making your way down these back alleys, you know, just like like super invisible. So it's like, you know, you can't help but like move a thing and have a guy be like, wait a minute. You're kind of making your way downtown, walking by, and you're invisible. And I'm Bruno. All right, so you pretty quickly as you're kind of making your way down, I almost did it again. Making your way down here to the south, you see that like as opposed to every other place in this city, which seems to just be kind of populated scantily around the outskirts of the town, like the people that would live in this city. It doesn't have all the same amenities that it had at one time. And so it's like the people here live a pretty tough life, but they are protected from outside influences, mostly by these walls that, if anything, are more than just kind of a pretense at this point. You know, had the armies of the world come in and attacked the city, it surely would fall. But you're kind of just continuing down here, and you start noticing a lot more of these syndicate guys. You know, you see a bunch of dudes, a lot of guys in suspenders and top hats, you know, just kind of fingerless gloves and kind of menacing fellows, brazenly kind of walking around. Like, you know, the idea that perhaps around every corner was a sprung trap. You haven't found to be true, Brunor, as you've moved around. You haven't seen a lot of people like waiting around, like, you know, waiting for you to be here. But in this area, you can tell like people are on alert. They're kind of like looking around. Everybody's trying to gauge like, who's this guy? You see a lot of real bad characters walking around. You even see this just like strange cat-headed man like walking by with a blue cape. He's got like tiger paws and a tiger's head and a big flowing blue cape. You just see him kind of walking with a scepter down the street. You know, a couple goons behind him. But you're looking around. You're like, okay, well, it looks like some people, you know, yielded that message pretty well, and a lot of the bad apples of this region have showed up to get this. But again, they're not really hiding because there's not, as you've seen, too much of a guard force here. There's not people like enforcing any laws, perhaps why they've settled here.
Yeah, I actually had a question about, is that why that poker game was going on, so that someone could win more money to bid on said luck blade?
Exactly.
And would that be taking place in a pub where a fella could get a drink, perhaps see what that poker game is all about? And since there's not a lot of guards around, maybe bar fight.
So you see he's like, oh, you want to have a drink? Yeah, I just got kicked out of there. And he kind of points ahead. And it's funny, he points, you know, Thoricus, like your dwarven heritage hurts a little bit. He's like, yeah, in the great stone cathedral. And it's like this beautiful stone dwarven structure. And he's like, hollowed it out and put a bar in it. Gathered a bunch of mysteries from around the world. Dice, liars, dice, and games of cards, chance. A lot of money flying around right now. A lot of bad apples. You see, he kind of looks around at you guys, and he's like, he's a thief, so he's just fighting his natural instinct to just like steal from you. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna steal. I'm not gonna. And he's like, but yeah, apparently this giant, like what used to be like the commander's center, you know, where whatever, you know, ruled this city would stand, they've just cleared out and turned it into a huge bar. And so that's where he got kicked out of. He's waiting for somebody to leave there so he can try to mug him and get his money back. But there's a lot of like drinking and games of chance going on in there. And, you know, you're just kind of like looking at the spot. It's like you're looking at the architecture. You're like, I've seen this architecture before, you know, in your vision of Vegeta.
Yeah, fantastic. We've got a drunk guy. They can make a big scene outside, clear the entire place out, and then we just go in there and fucking take all the money and fuck everyone else up who's too stupid to go outside.
All right, you see a couple people running around in the street too, still just like, fire, oh, cannons. You know, Toko's been wise. He's like continuing moving the ship around the port, not letting it be easily like countered or anything. What few people are coming, or, you know, shooting crossbows at the ship, but with no, you know, people or like living oarsmen and no sails to burn down or anything. It's like it moves of its own accord. It's a pretty handy distraction, just like lobbing cannon balls just around in that.
Who are you
marina.
shooting at, dummy?
Bruno, you know, you're kind of sitting there as well. You know, you see these kind of like bad apples kind of walking around, going through this archway here. You see the large, you know, wooden building. It's kind of lavish. You know, at one point would have been, you know, the belle of the city, but there's a little bit of age has withered the architecture of it. It's kind of withered now from its once kind of fantastic greatness. But there is this auction house, and you see a lot of them. Like a lot of people are kind of gathering in that direction.
So I just want to clear with the group real quick. Are we trying to go to the auction and buy, or try to buy this thing with money, or bar fight? I don't know. Like, what are we feeling right now? Feelings check.
I mean, I'm always in for a bar fight, Thoricus.
I want to go wherever Vegeta is.
Is he in the bar, or is that a separate building?
He is in the bar. Yeah, you and Divot easily know he's coming. Like, it's like that bar that he got kicked out of. That's where Vegeta's hanging out. That's where the vision that you guys had of the piled empty glasses and him sitting at the bar, you're just kind of like waiting. That's where you saw him. So you do know he's that way.
Yeah, when he mentions the bar, I looked at Thoricus and just go, big nods. Let's go.
So Bruno, you've got time now, you know, as they kind of like have this conversation with him. What do you want to do? Do you just want to like kind of scout out or return back to the group?
So I've kind of figured out where everybody's kind of like mainly hanging out as far as the syndicate goes?
Yeah, it's almost like this whole neighborhood down here has just been like taken over by bad guys. Like there's just like a bunch of bad dudes roaming the streets. The syndicate seems pretty confident just sitting out in broad daylight for a bunch of, shady mercenaries and assassins. But yeah, you do see a lot, and like I said, some flamboyant gangsters of various, apparel, some pretty shady folks walking around. All of them with, pretty lavish with the fact that they have money and they're bringing money to this event. But you kind of see like just a gathering of people that profit off of the dark markets.
How long do we have until this event begins?
Let's say that's actually a fair question, and it would have been written on the scroll. So I'd say you probably have an hour until the actual event takes place.
Cool.
Fantastic.
So I'm gonna steal away and go back to my friends.
Yeah. All right, you see, you kind of witness them all kind of like starting to walk over toward this bar. You see the little the syndicate thug guys kind of like not really like, he's like, are you what? And then he kind of sees as Brian steps out and he's like very nervous suddenly. He's like, never seen a creature like that before. I don't know what you guys are wanting to do, but you don't need old Johnny, do you? Old Johnny can go, yeah?
Oh, don't be crazy, Johnny. You gotta come party with us. We're going back to the bar. Hey, we're gonna get your money back.
Oh,
you
get my money back. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Crocodile, you're gonna look so tough, and man, we're just gonna go in there. We're gonna party. It's gonna be awesome. Ooh.
All right.
You're feeling that, right, Johnny? You're feeling that. Come on. Papa knows. Papa might be old as fuck, but he still knows how to party. Okay.
All right, give me a persuasion check or an intimidation, probably more likely. Thoricus. Whatever you're trying to use on it. Let me get a skill check on that. Oh man.
Oh,
Put
Papa.
your hands in the air.
Ooh. All right, Thoricus. You put the fear of God in this man as, you just kind of like grab your wrist around the back of his neck and she's like, come on, man. He's like, yeah, let me get my money back, right? And he sees, he doesn't see Bruno, but Bruno, you walk up, you're still invisible. They have nobody tried to talk to you while you weren't there, so they have no idea that you left, and you are still invisible. Let's be real, let's say maybe 20 minutes. You probably have 40 minutes of invisibility left, so, from when it was cast. So,
cool.
There you go. You guys are kind of gathered around these big double wooden doors that lead into the bar. Anything you guys want to do before kind of just heading on in?
Can I check it out first to see if there's any traps inside?
Yeah. Okay, so you on the big double doors, give me an investigation check.
I would investigate. It's not any sort of perception, not something I would perceive.
This last investigation was your finest. You crushed it.
I
After
know.
last time. I feel like these double doors have Divot's name all over them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Well.
So Bruno, you check along the seams of the door. You look for trip wires or anything of the like. Again, your party doesn't see you do this, so you're just kind of like looking around, like checking to see, if there's perhaps a trap on the door, and it looks perfectly normal to you.
Okay. Well, I guess I can't see if there's anybody like waiting for us on the other, right on the other side of the door. If people just hanging out in the bar.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you can. If you want to open the door, you can kind of take a peek, or if you want to peek under the cracks, I can tell you what you would see from the under crack of the door.
I'm invisible. I'm just gonna slip and slide.
All right, you just kind of open the door. You see it kind of pushes from the center. Again, everything's kind of old here, so it takes a little extra strength to push. You push the door open a little bit. You kind of see, the bar laid out in front of you. You see a bunch of games of dice and cards being played. There's a cloud of smoke in the air, lots of pipes and tobacco being smoked. A little bit of a lively atmosphere. It's like the money's flowing, the games are going fast, and there's a lot. Everybody's cheating, but everybody knows. And so it's almost a game of who can cheat better than who can gamble better, you know. And so it's like you just watch as a bunch of people are playing around these gathered tables, you know, with heavy yellow lights that just kind of illuminate the place like a pool hall. And through the smoky haze, you know, as the door kind of squeaks, I'm gonna go ahead. I am gonna give them some perception checks. So, Vegeta, as you look through the kind of the cloud of smoke, you see him sat in the same damn chair you've seen him for the last almost month now. You know, a pile of these glasses, some broken. You remember, Tynna, when you tried to scry on him, it's like, that's where I was looking from. And there's a broken glass still on the ground. Nobody's cleaned it up. You see, in fact, there aren't the waitresses and the like don't really seem to be running around. It's like these people have just taken over. They've stabbed into kegs. There's knives with dripping ale coming out of them and stuff. They've just kind of taken this spot over as their own and cleared away, you know, the structures from within, and just set up a bunch of gambling halls, had a big bar with tons of these kegs that they've gathered from all around the city, just kind of pilfering what they liked. And you see sitting there, you know, here he is, the Vegeta Shellfist himself. He's an older dwarf, but he's got these extravagant wrappings on his white beard. His armor is blue, and Brunor, you see some of the Elmiran symbols of the army of Elmira have also been emblazoned on his armor. So he has both the marks of the general of the Stone Reavers and the symbol of a centurion of the Elmiran army. Sat at his side is this massive one-sided axe, but the blade on it is nearly half as tall as he is. You know, it sits at nearly arcs to the top of the bar, sitting next to him as he sits there slugging down another glass of ale. He does not turn to look at you. Some of the other patrons in the bar, as they play, they have disadvantages. They're all, you know, shouting and being rogues and stuff. That's a 5, and then I'm going to do one more group. That's a 6. So, Brunor, you slip in unnoticed, just some draft or wind that must have opened the door. But you're now in this bar. And let me kind of pause. I don't have a full bar for you, for which I apologize. But
worry about it.
You know,
did you load up the original bar fight bar?
I know it's so funny you say that, because I was like, man, I'm just gonna check. It's worth checking because if I can.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry.
Nice.
All right, so I do have this though, and it's gonna work for now. You see, you know, you also notice, Brunor, as you're kind of like peeking around, the bartender of this bar has just been killed. There's just like this dead body, throat slit, looks like from a pretty giant axe wound, if you ask me. And it's just sitting there, just kind of bleeding out. There's like some flies like buzzing around. And you see this, oops, sorry.
Oh, he was like that when I got there.
So I'm just gonna move this down here because it's kind of easy. Make it a little bigger. But yeah, Brunor, you know, it's like there's tables all around this site, but standing there at the bar, I'm just gonna move this down here, is Vegeta Shellfist. You know, this dwarf's got a big blue regal cape, but he does look. He's like, you know, knowing what you've heard of him so far, it's like he's so much older than you would think that he would be. But he is sitting there, you know, this giant axe stained with blood, as a nearby bartender just lays sprawled out on the ground. You know, some ale and broken glasses kind of all over the place is a mess. And you see these rogues all around. But Brunor, yeah, you're able to kind of move around. You're invisible, so you're not really like, it's a loud, ruckus place. People are shouting numbers and gambling and throwing dice and everything. And so it's like you can kind of move around as long as you're careful. While you're invisible, you can move around pretty freely in here. Anything specifically you're looking for?
Is my sister around?
She is not.
God damn it. God damn it. Okay.
You know, Brunor,
okay.
you're looking at the bar, and it's like you can remember in the scrying pools when you first saw the visage of this location, and you can almost see in the chair that's tipped over next to Beckus. You remember when that chair was stood up and leaning on it was your sister. Like that was how, you know, when you first scryed from the scrying pools, she was here, and you can't help but just look at the chair that's thrown down on the floor and her lack of, you know, and her not being in it, and see that outline of the grown woman that she had become. You know, the woman you don't really know, who had put a bounty on your head for 10,000 gold for treason against your kingdom.
A dick. Okay, then
It is Vegeta, right? Not Beckus.
Vegeta,
Yes.
thank you. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that I need to be like aware of or worried about in this place, or is it like is Shren around?
You do not see Shren. There are a couple syndicate guys playing, playing at some of the various tables. But it looks to be, like I said, it's like thugs and miscreants of all variety. You know what I mean? There's just generally a vibe. They're having a good time. You can't lie. It's like it does seem like everybody's having a lot of fun. But they do seem to be some pretty vicious people. Again, you see a lot of hands slipping around, stealing pouches, while the other guys like stealing their coin purse from their pocket. Like it's like they can't stop robbing and stealing and lying and cheating. But in this environment, it's almost encouraged. So you do see a lot of coin getting bathed around though, Brunor. So you're just like, man, there's some pretty hefty gold piece amounts. Like some people brought some money to try to get this blade.
Yo, the beating in my chest is like reaching like a breaking point. I cannot handle how close we are to this guy, even from inside the sack. I'm like.
Yeah, and it's like, both you and Rial, it's like the beating, the resonance, this, again, being so close, you feel that, like, flavor mouth, that mouth, and you just, like, start getting, you just have to get that energy, that power, like being close to Exonius and Elmira. There's that energy of your shared destiny kind of calling you into this room.
Cool. I wanna, like, hop over the bar and be, like, right here.
Sweet. Nice. Yeah, you again, like I said, it's pretty loud. So, give me a stealth just because if you rolled like a 1 or a 2, it is just a DC 5. An 8. There you go.
Sweet.
So,
all hard, like.
Yeah, you almost like step in the pool of blood on the ground, and you're like, no footprints. You manage to get yourself behind. But yeah, there you stand. You see, you guys are all kind of standing there. Divot Rial, it's almost as if you can't stop yourselves. Your feet are almost dragging on the ground. This echoing beat, and that energy is like each beat of the heartbeat kind of resonates in your own chest and bounces off of each other. Your shared destinies in focus right before you. Beckus Grumblehelm, the last remaining, acorn of Sithis' power beyond Sithis himself, sits only on the other side of this door. Vegeta! I keep doing it. Gosh, I'm so sorry.
Vegeta!
Yes. Vegeta Shellfist sits on the other side of this door. And what do you guys do?
I can't take being in the bag anymore, man. I'm sorry. I can't take being in the bag anymore. He's right there. And I've been super busy while I've been in this bag. So I bust out of the bag, right? And I have 2 things in my hand. That evil book that we just got, and the last bite of the dragon penis that was in there, which I have been wolfing down the entire time I've been in that set. And I look at everybody and I'm like, grab a beer off the bar.
It's delicious, right?
And like wash it down. And I'm like, you never know.
All right, Brunor, you're kind of standing there invisible behind the bar, and suddenly you see the great double doors, almost reminiscent of the last bar fight. They get kicked open. And there's Divot, having just honked down the last of the black dragon, Exonius's penis, and made access to the dark magics within the book that had tortured the mind of Greyland Faragor. Brunor, you watch as like the doors open, the sunlight behind him. He appears just like a creature of shadow that just moves into the room, and you see all the people playing in their various games around the room are like, huh? What's that? Their eyes kind of wash at the beam of sunlight that spills over their eyes. Some of them cough their smoke out. And there Divot stands, like in an old Western movie. There's just this cloud of smoke around him. He's got a book in one hand and his glowing magic in his other hand. And Divot, as you eat the last bite of this dragon's dong, suddenly you see that evil book in your hand starts burning with fire. You start morphing into this shadow demon of your own right. And you watch, Brunor, as these beams of energy connect to all the minds of everyone present in the bar. And you see, like Greyland Faragor drawn into his own nightmares, so too have the souls of every person in this room been drawn into the realm of Divot's nightmares. Divot, you're kind of like standing in this void, looking in front of you. You know, you see all these like strange thieves and brigands looking around, confused, and then you hear, "Fancy trick, boy." And you see, even in this like dreamscape of your own, it appears that Vegeta Shalefist isn't quite affected by this nightmare magic, although he is held within your nightmare in this moment. He turns around with his axe and he's like, "I thought it'd be me and Thoricus. I guess it's you and me first." And that's where we're gonna pick it up next time, guys!
Oh my good golly gosh.
I'm smoking to that. I am smoking to that.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
I love this game.
So much of the feels that I didn't get to get out.
I hope you're not mad I ate your penis.
I've never once ever had to answer that.
That's what Weed&D is all about.
Welcome to Weed&D, guys. This is all right. So yes, the magical powers of the Black Dragon's penis, instead of being fed to Brian like so many fans were begging for, it ended up being eaten by Divot, which, you know, sometimes you don't see those curveballs coming. We will return. Our next sesh we'll start in this magical nightmare realm of Divot's nightmares with this showdown of sorts, the beating heart, you know, resonating between them, and one more acorn on the line. And what the hell's going on in that bar? And what the fuck is gonna happen? There's only one way to know, and that is to come hang out with us for our finale episode of the Prologue to Ganjaria. It's gonna be a long one. We're taking the back end off, guys. We are gonna just let it ride, and it is gonna be done when it's done. You know, we're not gonna play for a day and a half or anything like that. But I could see us going for 4 or 5 hours, something like that. Who knows? It'll be all right. I want to let this end the way it deserves and not be rushed and forcing it. We have some really amazing stuff coming, guys. Thank you so much one last time. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything everybody does to make this thing so fucking amazing. Thanks to these players for giving us a chance to play in these wonderful playgrounds of our minds. Thanks to the artists who paint that playground and let us all share in it. Thanks to Sandy for making the breath of that. It's just, we love it. Art hard, make something, create something. Just don't compare yourself to other people and just enjoy yourself. We fucking love you. And we are very thankful for you and for each other. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. We do have us a little ritual that we like to do around here. We've done it, 70 times, 140 plus, oh gosh, but here we go. We're going to do it one more. Make sure you're not going to light any of your friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Lighters up. Yeah. Thank you so much for playing D&D with us, guys. We fucking love you, and oh my gosh, this next one is going to be fucking wild. You want to be there.
And thank you, Bam.
Thank you, Bam.
Bam.
Bam, 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 bam.
I love you guys.
Sick fuck.
I'm gonna
You're a dream weaver.
No, I'm done. Just get us out of here. I'm done.